フルーツならデリバリーもできます。お金もあるんですし。
金持ちはただ待っていろと？私をそんな風に見ていたのか。
いえ、でもここは人が多すぎます。
お前は信頼できる子だが、少し肩の力を抜いたらどうだ。でないと大切なものを見落としてしまうぞ。この果物とかね。これを一つ。ヒロ、どうした？震えているぞ。
伏せて。
お！
ここに。
私の家に忍び込むなんて自殺願望でもあるの？
久しぶり、由美子。八幡さんが。
ええ、話は聞いたわ。
見覚えは？手伝ってもらう。仇は必ず撃つ。
Tracking target at full velocity. Predicting trajectory. Wunderbar.
Did I mention it comes wrist-mounted?
No. I don't like to use the word hero. But I did save the boss's life, you know. Hey, Osa! Wait up!
I already said I won't take any selfies with you.
I know. But I was thinking high-tech is seriously trending right now. So I was kinda hoping I could borrow one of your toys for a little photo shoot.
Some of these toys come with a $50 million price tag.
Well, then why did these tourists get to play?
Because if they break it, Rainbow buys it. Besides, Kali wants them to feel at home.
Right, Callie, the big plan. What's the big plan again?
Lips are sealed, hero.
Come on. I helped build this place. Don't you think I should be in the know?
I think you should be focused on winning the invitational, not showing off to our senior physicist.
Thought she was a biologist. You all look the same to me.
What? Women?
Nerds.
You know what, Ace? I think I will help you with that photo shoot.
Ah, really? Awesome.
Of course. Could you just stand a little to the left?
Like this?
Perfect. Say nerd. Keep bugging my staff and this goes viral.
Oh, no, come on. Please don't tell Callie.
Showtime.
Kia ora whanau, that guy's Energy here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Tāmaki Makaurau to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Tāmaki Makaurau. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable, like the motion platform's super nice. They're actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys, we're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket, and it's for ages 8 and up.
Get ready for the final round. Matching overtime.
Team there ties the game. Are you a betting man, Harry?
Do you assume I favor one side over the other? You know me better than that, Sam. Besides, I left my wallet at home.
Attackers, prepare for insertion. Team Mira to the map. The map.
Doka, now.
Roger. Let's go fishing.
Good to go, Jordan.
Copy that.
Three attackers remaining.
Callie, I need cover! We're pinned down, Callie! Get us out of here! Callie! What the heck is he doing?
Giving them a clear target.
Come out and play.
Only 2 attackers remain. 2 defenders remain on the map.
Something tells me that didn't come out of the playbook.
Not in our playbook, anyway. Something tells me this fight ain't over.
To be able to react quickly, you must remove unnecessary variables from the equation. Emotion for one, as well as the fear of consequences. Good reaction time and instinct can't be bought. That won't stop me from trying.
I don't know how you do things in the private sector, but we do not use people as bait here.
This is a game, princess. And I just want it for you.
Keep her back! Steady down. Are you off the knock? Back off!
Come on, man!
なぜいつもここに来るんですか？フルーツならデリバリーもできます。お金もあるんですし。
金持ちはただ待っていろと？私をそんな風に見ていたのか。
いえ、でもここは人が多すぎます。
お前は信頼できる子だが、少し肩の力を抜いたらどうだ。でないと大切なものを見落としてしまうぞ。この果物とかね。これを一つ。ヒロ、どうした？震えている。
伏せて。お。ここに。
Tango in my sights.
Now it's time for new belt Nitro Signal, and he fell for it. He's looking to give coverage for his teammate, right? Can he lock it down? Yes, he can, but the swing's in. Has to find it. No time. Pun has to swing in. Geordie's pulled up. He lost the round.
Camera in position.
Get behind me!
Tango located.
Hostiles in sight.
Hello, welcome to another exciting week here at the Rockout LPL Pro Rainbow Six Siege 2020 Season 2. We're coming to the final play day. My name is Blue Panda. Joining me is Spud on the mic. It has been 6 long weeks now into our 7th of round robin competition. Our top 4 teams at the end of tonight will move on to the playoffs, the best of 3 format. Our first matches will then move, well, the winners of our first matches will then move on to the grand finals being a best of 5. Spud, how's the competition been so far?
Look, like you mentioned, 6 long weeks, but 6 really, really good weeks. We've had exciting games every single week. A lot of unexpected results, some underdogs showing up big time. Certainly, it's going to be a shame that we have to see some of these teams go, but that is the way it goes. It is a tournament after all.
Yeah, we're not just playing for bragging rights here in LPL Pro. Of course, the prize pool up for grabs, $3,000 in total, $1,200 for first, $900 for second, and third and fourth walk away with $450. So if you're in the money, you make it into playoffs, you're in the money. Pretty simple stuff. But Spud, I mean, look, last week, going into this week, what was sort of the atmosphere? What was the setup?
Well, some teams had some great games, some teams not so great games, but overall really, really good performances from everyone. But of course, that does mean we are in danger of seeing some teams go. And in fact, it's all going to be up to tonight, the last the last group day for this tournament before we get to the playoffs. Kraken currently actually sitting in 4th place, not something people would expect. Underground Gaming having won against Team 7 in a bit of an upset match last week to actually take their place at 3rd.
Well, I mean, NQS not quite sure up top. Safe, they cannot be knocked out of playoffs contention, of course, but there are 3 teams, Team 7, Underground Gaming and Kraken, who potentially could be leapfrogged by Get a Grip LFO if they have the week that they're looking for. So some big matches to play for tonight, of course. Having a look at the schedule, it is going to be a clear run on how that will play out, and I'm excited for this one. Up first, Team 7 taking on Kraken Esports. We've got Get a Grip LFO taking on Not Quite Sure in Map 2, and to close out the evening, F2 versus Underground Gaming. Spud, if you had to nail it down to one, what would be your match of the evening?
I think Team 7 versus Kraken Esports. We're going to be starting off with a bang. Those are 2 really, really good teams. It's certainly going to be a really, really good match. Of course, still keep your eyes posted for the results, because if my calculations are correct, if Get a Grip managed to beat Not Quite Sure in better than overtime, and Kraken lose, then Kraken actually lose their spot in the playoffs.
Now, not just keeping your eyes peeled for the competition tonight, you guys have your own competition that you can get involved in. And make sure you do. I'm a little disappointed. I've been told the last couple of weeks you guys have really been slacking. We've got 2 prizes up for grabs. So make sure you get in on the action. Tweet at us at LPL_R6S using the hashtag LPLPro and tell us who is in your LPL Pro super team. That's the one. So you can go 5 Chef Jeffs if you want to. Probably not going to work. I don't know how well he can operate 5 sets of keyboard and mice, but tell us who is in your LPL Pro team. And you know what? I'll even give you this one. You can use last season players as well. Add a bit of spice. Give us some heat. I want to know your hot takes on the timeline, and we should be getting them up on the broadcast as well. But Spud, the time has come. Let's get into it. Match 1 of the evening. Team 7 taking on Kraken up first, of course. It's Team 7 looking to punch on through. And this is a bit of an interesting matchup. You're looking at Campo Sealy. Hunter, that's a familiar name. Formerly of Kraken Esports as well. Kunai and Saber round out the roster. This is a bit of a battle of the origins between Kraken and Hunter's new team.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a grudge match. I've been waiting the entire season to talk about this. Ex-Kraken players playing against the current Kraken. It's going to be amazing. Of course, all led by Campo. Campo has tons of experience. Oceania caliber as well. Ex-Kanga Esports and Rufflecopter. Everyone knows that roster. So definitely going to be a tough match for Kraken.
And when you say tons of experience, everyone knows that means, obviously Campo's washed and old. And you know who's not washed and old? It is their opponents for this evening. Kraken Esports, NZ Frankie, Pluto, the man, the myth, the legend, the Bishop of Boomstick, the Pope of the pump action, Chef Jeff himself, Beto and Helix rounding out the roster. I mean, look, what more can you say? Chef Jeff in the lead, leading this charge. I don't even know if Team 7 can stand against the heat.
Look, obviously big names and a big team. These guys have done really, really well in other leagues, and we expect nothing less from them tonight. Their spot, of course, is looking a little bit shaky off the loss last week. A couple of weeks earlier to Underground, I believe, on Oregon. So this time, this is when they need to step up to make sure they win.
It's definitely going to be exciting, of course, but we need to take a deep dive into this matchup with our Biocode Lab head-to-head player matchup. And of course, it is the Wash, the Campo taking on the new hotness, the man with a plan for Kraken Esports, Chef Jet. I mean, look, all jokes aside, these are the 2 players that will likely keep their respective rosters grounded in this matchup.
Yeah, as we've mentioned, Campo brings a ton of experience, and it's not just going to be in-game experience, it's going to be experience as a leader, that mental state, keeping the team focused when they need it the most. Of course, on the other hand, you've got Chef Jeff memeing around a bit, always willing to throw a spanner in the works. He's willing to sacrifice his own life as well. To do so, last time he hit the 360 and then was instantly punished for that BM. So, we all love to see it though, and I certainly look forward to them playing.
And look, Chef Jeff, not just a connoisseur with a shotgun, he's pretty lethal with a nitro cell as well. So he is very, very good at throwing when it comes to a matchup like this. But Spud, it's about the battlefield. You've talked about Kraken and their propensity for Oregon. The question here in the final play of the season, do they stick with what has worked for them, or do they go somewhere new? Let's jump into the map vetoes and find out. Of course, Oregon banned out immediately by Team 7. We're going, we've gone from Oregon, which has been Kraken's map pick all season, to the map pick that dominated their second season of the Oceanic Challenger League in Chalet. So we're going back to the Oceanic Chalet League tonight.
Look, honestly, I'm a little bit relieved that they've chosen something else other than Oregon, and I really applaud this decision from Team 7, honestly. Seeing how well Kraken has played and the wealth of experience that they've built up on it, obviously you want to take it a different direction. Maybe see how they go on an older map. Maybe since they've been focusing so much on Oregon, their Chalet game is looking a little bit rusty.
We'll have to see, of course. It's going to be interesting to see that young dynamic team surrounding our village elder in Team 7 going into Chalet. Of course, what wisdom can Campo bring to these youngsters that might enable them to take down Chef Jeff and his church? But you look at it. We're going to Chalet. There's a lot of play around those SAS operators in the smoke, the mute combo. So maybe we get to see Chef Jeff. Obviously, in recent times, he's sort of stepped away from that shotgun role. He's picked up the likes of the Zofia, the Buck on the attack. He's playing whatever they stick him on the defense, so he doesn't really get much of a choice anymore. But going into Chalet, from what you've seen of both these teams, who sort of tips the scales in this one?
Honestly, I'm not too sure how to call it. I feel that Oregon and Chalet can be quite different in terms of how they play out. One is a little more passive, the other a little more aggressive on Chalet's side, but I think it does still suit Kraken very well. We've seen them play a very aggressive defense, aggression that sometimes does get punished, but overall, it's very in your face and ready to take those bites. And I think Chalet certainly suits that as well. So for Team 7, whether this is the right call to make to go to Chalet or whether, you know, this is just going to backfire horrendously on them, it could actually work against them. Team 7 had taken a bit of a gamble here. It could be 50-50. It'll either work really well or it won't work at all.
Well, it's time to chill out. We're going to head to the French Alps here, Spud. A bit of Chalet to kick off the final play day of Season 2's round robin. We're about to get into it. We're about to kick it off. Operator band base just around the corner. Anything crazy, anything weird and wonderful you're expecting?
Look, I think Azami ban on the card straight away. It is such a potent operator, and we have seen both these teams work around with that as well. Knock, of course, for the very same reasons we see her so often in those high-level plays. So honestly, those are my two go-tos. Otherwise, I would say Finger, but given the LMG nurse, I think she'll survive this time.
Chef Jeff in chat wanting to get involved in the giveaway. Well, I suppose he's got to win something tonight. Might as well. Oh, that's a target ban if I've ever seen one. Poor Chef Jeff. No skeleton key for him. Honestly, at this point, do you just FF the competition, maybe? Look, I don't know. Buck is a bad op on this map. No wonder Chef Jeff got dropped by 1620 Kings.
Copium much. He's trying to justify it.
He'll do, honestly, knowing Chef Jeff, he'll do anything he can to justify his actions going into any given match. That spin last week, I'm sure he has an excuse for that. But Nook, Buck, Azami, Valkyrie, nothing crazy. Other than obviously single-handedly locking Chef Jeff out of this matchup. So I'm interested to see what he does on the attack. Hold on. Have we got the lobby around the right way? Because we've got old John Bernthal.KRA playing for Team 7 tonight.
John Berthel, I believe, is Hunter, so...
Why am I not surprised?
Yes, of course. Yeah, look, we have gotten confused over this multiple times, and I am that close to just calling him Johnny or something silly like that, and they will learn their lesson when we keep mispronouncing their names. But you get away this week, okay? John, you get away. You're going to be known as Hunter, but only because we're feeling generous this time.
Well, that's the thing. John Bernthal never played a Hunter. He played the Punisher, but that's not the Hunter. So I think he probably needs to figure out his life choices and move forward from there. But honestly, I'm more disappointed by the fact that we're not seeing the Monty immediately picked, given Hunter's prowess for the shield play so far. It's pretty basic, pretty boring, if I'm being perfectly honest. These teams well and truly capable of bringing some spice into any matchup, and I'm failing to see it. Look, I'll give them props for the Rook, but look, come on, Doc would have been cooler.
Yeah, Rook has seen a surge in play recently, given the new changes that have been made, and it's actually working out really, really well. I want to see how Kraken make the most of this.
Oh, okay, I just noticed what Hunter was running. The SASG Finker. Old school. I'll rate it. Well, at the moment, they're gearing themselves up for this push, of course. This one could get spicy. I'm excited for it, but they've lost John Bernthal and Saber already. Sealy with Krunai and Campo. I mean, why am I not surprised that Krunai is just running the Ash main at the moment? He's definitely got a bit of a reputation for being the run and gunner, but right now the player advantage there for Kraken on the defense. They're holding fast. Frankie tag the swing from Helix. Camp, I'm not sure about that one there, Chief. The reload not quite on point.
Yeah, Team 7 just seem to be playing fairly directly and aggressively, but they haven't been able to take much map control. They're just waiting for these players to peak, like Helix making that mistake. But it has cost them in the meantime, both the Finca and the Sledge off the board. That's precious utility removed already, and with half of the round gone, Kraken just need to wait out the time, especially with that kill on Hacampo as well. Simon Cowell.
Oh, Chef.
Third as well.
Oh,
last
Jeff.
one to go, and Krunai falls to Chef Jeff.
We had a shotgun I've ever seen. He almost whiffed that. He very nearly whiffed that. So I think he's just trying to cover that up with a spin at the end. Yeah, he spun out of control. We'll see. But Kraken take round one. I can't even remember what the bomb site it was. It was just such a mess. But we go down to the basement, which, look, teams are leaning into a little bit at the moment.
Attackers need to locate.
Yeah, again, very aggressive plays coming out from both these teams. Kraken, they're swinging things that might not necessarily be in their advantage, but they've been rewarded for it. Team 7, I'm not sure what the situation with the drones were, the information gathering, and I think we'll have to take a look at their upcoming rounds, but it just seemed there was a bit of a lack of that, and they were just kind of walking into Kraken's defense. Given that it is only one round in, maybe Team 7 will switch things up, but usually Krakens are the ones who start off slow and take some time to warm up.
Yeah. Just taking a slow approach, not wanting to force the issue just yet. And Frankie this time bringing the sausage on the cap can instead, but Helix on the Kavira. I'm excited. What is he going to do? Where is he going to go? How is he going to play this one? Does he get the interrogation, or does he look like an absolute fool?
Oh, I don't know about that, Chief. Last week he didn't have such a great game. I'm sorry I have to bring it up. But now is not the time you want to be playing with Kavira picks, right? You want to make up for last week. And this is an important game, mind you. We have mentioned that of course, this is their playoffs game. They need to win this in order to stay in playoffs. So, again, picks that can work either really well or absolutely not at all.
Helix clears out the drone. Doesn't know there is two opponents on his left there. And Sabre and Campo, Sealy the first to fall outside the main lobby. And it is Simon Cowell, judgy as he is, but two quick kills back, puts it back in favour of Team 7. It is hard to tell. Oh, the Kavira, the hip fire, Sabre's down. And all of a sudden, we're back in the 3 versus 3. Louison going hard.
And they're playing this upstairs control, forcing Team 7 to have to clear them out significantly. Now, they do get into sight, but there's still a rotate back. Not if Campo has anything to say about it. He finds a second of the round, and that puts a player advantage back in favor of Kraken. One more goes down, and it's all up to Helix. We saw him starting things off, and now he has to crawl his way back from those west main stairs. His position surely will have been given away. Goes for the rotate around, looking for the planter, but they've moved off it already. He's in a post-plant situation, 1 versus 3. He's looking for that first pick, but the player is being careful. Goes around the corner. Campo wins it out with the 3rd of his round.
Certified attempt. Does work better when you aim. Can confirm. As someone who's seen a lot of Kavira play, it is just a little bit better when you aim down sights. But they are going to look for the reattempt.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad setup, mind you. They did have a lot of roaming presence that could have forced Team 7 to slow down quite a lot. They weren't able to play into it as well. Team 7 kind of just hitting the site directly and catching the roamers as they came back. So, good adaptation from Team 7, a little bit like how Elevate play in terms of the strategy. But Kraken certainly have a solid foundation to work off, and I could certainly see it working out in favor of them if they are able to stall out a bit more time.
Well, Kavira not going to be in play this time. What we do have is 4 nitro cells instead. Chef Jeff back as the Bishop of Boomstick with the M590 in hand on the Warden.
10 seconds remaining.
So, maybe, just maybe, we see him back to his old tricks.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
Beno's position has been given away, but he's not really there to cause trouble, just more to waste time. falls back a little bit into the big garage, waiting for players to push. He's just going to be there to be a nuisance, make sure Team 7 don't have as much peace of mind as they would like. Team 7 are having none of it, though. They're just going to back away, or are they? They do seem to be in a position, and his feet, he almost got taken out, but Bano will get away.
Close, but not quite. We do see the slow alignment of, you know, seriousness. Krunai dropped, and Sealy going to try his like a lot of hip firing attempts. Somehow the shot's off. Oh, the prone check at the door. That could have been disastrous for Helix, but they're not done. They want to contest position. Saber coming in from car garage might be there for the pivot. Pushes up West Main, but it's already too little too late. The position having been vacated. The drone's there. Bano knows that he's just going to turn tail, tuck into a corner. Saber getting hyper aggressive here. Has the pre-fires, but Bano slipped away.
That second player almost got the shot. Saber gets away with his life this time. It's 4 players now pressuring this backside, but they know that there's a player still upstairs. They're going to have to be careful of that hatch and the West Main as well. Indeed, Saber will find that kill onto Bano, trying to rotate back. Helix falls as well. It's a 3v3 as Chef Jeff with the boomstick goes boom. It's now slowed down once again, but ANZ Frankie's having none of it. Finds one onto Sealy. Now the player advantage back in terms of Kraken. ANZ Frankie looking to get aggressive, but Kraken find their player downed as well. It's a 2v2.
The battle of the team representatives there. Then Campo and Chef Jeff. Campo being burnt. Shotgun to the chest. Frankie connects not with the SMG, but with the scatter shot. Yeah, shotgun. Well done. He knows his shotguns.
Yes, that is indeed a shotgun. Well done. Good job. Next time, perhaps they could win a round. I'm joking. Team 7 did play that very, very well, given the position they were in at that point. Campo, of course, coming in clutch. He got it down to 1v1 and almost got that shot off. Of course, the range just meant that the shotgun was a little bit better and he wasn't quite able to hit the head on the first shot. But Team 7 able to keep step with Kraken's aggression. There are lots of trades coming out back and forth. Even though Kraken managed to build a significant player advantage, I believe it was a 2-player advantage, Team 7 able to find those trades very, very quickly and make sure that no one really has that significant advantage.
Oh dear. Well, Cap can again and play Ella. Frost, a lot of trap operators here on the defense for round 4. Kraken, the lead, tenuous as it is. There's a lead nonetheless. You got to work with what you've been given, and I mean, Kraken are fighting for that playoffs position. They don't want to let that one slip by missing out on any points tonight.
Simon Cowell looks to dish out a witty comment to perhaps cut down Saber as he gets past, but he's just going to take a little bit of damage. He's got enough confidence to weather the comment from Simon Cowell. It's going to be a library approach now. 2 players stacked up at the top here to defend. The Repel player looks to challenge Bano.
Well, Saber claims the first kill of the round. It's traded back immediately in another trade yet again. So 3 players off the board already. Saber punished heavily by Frankie's Bano. Just holding on to his life there. A point of health and a dream. You love to see it.
Looking for that first kill on the leaderboard. Maybe it will come from a frost mat. It does threaten to slow down Team 7 a little bit. And so far they have been slow-ish, I think. I take those words back because it's only been a minute and they've got library control. They have lost 2 players in the hard breach, which is worrying. That is more of a concern here, but they certainly got time to work with it, maybe rotate around, find another opening.
Into Frankie reclaims one of his 3 toxic canister he still has remaining, but Bano with a single point of health has the shots on to take down Crew Knight, and Chef Jeff is in his corner doing his thing, amping up with the spin. 1 player remaining. They know exactly where Hunter is out on highway. Should be jumped out. Jeff, come on, buddy. You can connect your shots better than that. Jeff, Hunter is out of there for the moment. Unfortunately, Chef Jeff cannot take his replacement out.
Well, this is actually quite winnable for Hunter. All three players on low. I called
Congratulations,
it! I called
well
it!
done.
I am so smart. I knew it.
Oh. Yeah, that one hurts. Classic Hunter shenanigans. Wouldn't have happened if he was playing Monty, just saying.
Well, I was going to say, that was quite winnable for Hunter. All three remaining players on very low health. He could have thrown an EMP grenade, it might have killed them, especially Bano. So, doable. Of course, when you're looking up at your enemy instead of the floor, that is what happens. So, well played from Bano. Good placement of those frost mats. He does get himself on the leaderboard, and Kraken another one to add to their tally.
Kraken on. Kraken a cold one. Cracking another couple of skulls. But, I mean, look at the moment. Frankie sporting the 6-1. He's doing quite well for himself. Baiting the rest of the team, making sure that he has the opportunity to farm up those frags. Poor Helix, though, has desperately been trying to make this work.
5 seconds remaining.
I admire the commitment and the will here he's displayed. Just that I would also like to see the aim of John Wick come out to play here. 1 and 4, he has done a little bit of damage, but not quite enough on that basement trophy roam last time Kraken played on the defense. So we'll see how this plays out this time. We didn't see any presence from Team 7 clearing out the fireplace bar areas. And so Helix could potentially use that to flank up the library stairs at an inopportune time and hit Team 7 on the flank.
Clearing up these drones. Bano spots the traces coming through the trophy barricade right now. Wants to go for the attempts. Unfortunately misses out on the opportunity there. We'll just relocate back up to Salim. Gonna play it slow. Keep hold of those stairs as long as possible. Has support too. So they know that they can just waste a bit of time here.
Vertical presence really threatening to slow down Sealy. It will actually be Simon Cowell to find Hunter first of all. Silly looking for this vertical angle, can't quite find it. Bano finds his first of this round. Simon Cowell, the second for this one. Saber at least cleans one up with that vertical control, but there's only 2 players remaining for Team 7.
I think I'm finally beginning to understand why they call it a Sealy posturepedic, because he's sleeping right now. Unfortunately, hasn't been able to find much of anything in this matchup so far. The 4 versus 2. Helix surely gets something here, I believe. Oh, look at that. Chef Jeff just gremlins his way up the hallway. Unfortunately, will be traded back, but it doesn't matter. Simon Cowell there on the job. Look, I have nothing but respect for the fact that Chef Jeff just crouch walked his way up the hallway and got a kill with a shotgun, but I don't know how often that works ever again.
Yeah, maybe he needs to hit the deck and lay prone on the floor like a certain other player, but I don't know how well they're doing either, so maybe not. Having said that though, these rounds are going out very, very quickly. We were at 1.5 minutes, so half the round gone, and there were already 2 players left for Team 7. Not sure whether that's a part of Team 7 misplaying sometimes, or Kraken being very, very aggressive. We do know that is how they like to play, but certainly Simon Cowell has been putting up the numbers 9 and 3 at the moment. Same with NZ Frankie, 6 and 1. Maybe the only reason why Helix is on a 1 is because everyone's dead before they get to it.
Well, 4-1 scoreline could quickly transition into a 5-1 if Team 7 aren't careful. But
10 seconds to go.
in saying that, it's been a reasonably quiet matchup for the entire team right now.
5 seconds to insertion.
Kraken just still... This is the first time I think I've seen Chef Jeff play anything even remotely close to the Vigil, and I have zero faith that it's going to work.
What if he had the Boss G?
No, even then.
Bano at least finds another kill to open things up onto Sealy of all players. He's just really not having a good game tonight. Helix also looking to get a little bit cheeky. I wonder if he has a shotgun. He will be forced to fall back. I think his position given away for now. He's going to keep hanging back, looking for a pick here or there.
Helix, he's wanting it. Whether or not he finds it, though, is, look, up for debate.
Saber makes his way into the library, does a little bit of damage, and then confirms onto Bano. Starting from the opposite side, they're going to be looking to work across Kunai and Helix as well, toe-to-toe. I'm not sure if Kunai is on his drone, but Saber will find Chef Jeff as well. So there goes his support. He's looking the wrong way, but he catches him as well. Helix goes down. It's a 4-2.
I did say Chef Jeff is... basically, yeah, look. Yeah. I did say, but Simon Cowell, judgmental as always, does drop Crew Knight. Although I think luckily for Crew Knight, the job's done, already surpassing the scoreline of Helix right now. NZ Frankie chimes in for a second with that MX4 Storm. There's two very feral guns on the defense here to hold off this push. Simon Cowell not done. Holding him in the sight. Long angle from Frankie. Tap onto John Berenthal's shoulder. They are going to try and make a gambit on. Campo takes Frankie out, and it's on to Simon Cowell to clutch this one up.
Finally, things are looking a little bit different. Team 7 finally have the advantage. It's been a while since they were in position. With the plant now gone down, they are certainly reinforcing their hold. That shield as well will now work in favor of Team 7 as well. Simon Cowell looking for an angle to land his insults, but can't find it just yet. Team 7 playing this perfectly, making sure not to overpeak. They've got the diffuser down. They know he has to cross into this. Makes his way into sight, but still nothing there to find. Campo will be the one to get that kill, and a round much needed for Team 7.
Clip it, ship it, send it to the timeline. That was some quality Oryx play. The river dash into the reinforced wall, and then dying. I can understand what he was trying to do. Unfortunately, he was off by that much.
Again, a really close round for Team 7 to win, so I think it's a sign that perhaps their attack wasn't as sharp as they would have hoped. The first round, of course, they won was a plant and a kill, so both rounds that they've won have been off plants and kills, but 2 and 4 on what is arguably a more favorable side on Chalet isn't great, but it's not terrible either. It's certainly workable, and if their defense is as convincing as Kraken's, certainly they're still in with a chance.
We'll see. It's never done. It's never set in stone. But it looks like Helix might be bringing the fuse. Or Sealy, come on, man. Can't be doing that.
5 seconds left.
I mean, dropping a donut. That's what I mean.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb.
Look, if you wanna say bad words, at least you gotta back it up, right? You can't do that when you're going 0-6, buddy. Step it up, Sealy. Step it up. We believe in you, though. Certainly, he's played very, very well in the previous week. So, yeah, just a little bit of an off game. Team 7, though, on their defense, this might be the opportunity to turn things around.
John Berenthal, Hunter, taking some early punishment, trying to get aggressive on the game's window. Saber and Crew Knight going to be chipped away at as well. The fuse is there for Helix, so if they get library control, this side becomes very painful.
Top floor library shield is going to be the player that denies that top floor control, along with Crew Knight. Simon Cowell actually making his way. I think we'll be going up those blue stairs and maybe able to catch a player unaware. But Sealy on the roam as well. If he goes down the west main stairs, he could catch Simon Cowell for the first kill of the game.
Maybe. Miracles do happen. Right now there is like 3 drones collectively for Kraken, and Simon Cowell is deep into the building, in fact, behind Sealy, whether Sealy knows it or not, and NZ Frankie kicks things off. 2 big kills. Jeff there for 1 as well. Sealy's dead again. Jeff traded out. The only kill so far to go down. Campo decides he wants to get involved, holding off the library push, but he's the last one left as Frankie decides to get himself in on the plant. What coverage is there is the question. That's not the site, Campo. There's probably not going to be too many people there. as they're now focused on that post-plant positioning. In stock, shots on, Frankie goes down, player behind the bar as well, and one up towards the mezzanine. Campo, the pings are coming through, so he has an idea. Fuse charge to go out, and it will be there to just try and deter off on the flank. Campo can't find the head, spots it there for a second, but it's a missed opportunity. Helix somehow alive, hits the dirt, hits the 180. Team 7, unfortunately, what could have been a clutchable round gets thrown in the bin.
That was a really unfortunate moment there. Certainly, I thought it was unwinnable, let's be honest, for Team 7. He was in a 1v5 at one point, but managing to down 2 certainly was very impressive and almost making it to 3. Unfortunately, Helix hitting the deck like our favorite shotgun master meant the end of that dream, and Kraken put themselves up another point.
2-5. Not a bad scoreline. Especially with Kraken looking to solidify themselves into playoffs. A win here would definitely help them do that. My question is, can Sealy get a single kill before the map closes?
Look, how many assists are we going to count as a single kill? That's my question.
One is not enough.
4 assists will count as a kill. Back to the first floor, but it will be kitchen dining this time for the hold. Another favorite of the sites. Once again, that shield going up near that rotate is going to be very, very difficult position to flush out, and it's going to require top floor control. Kraken have plenty of tools to work with to make that happen, especially with the fuse, but the first part will be getting control into the top floor, first of all.
Yeah. Whether or not they actually do that is a different story entirely. They may just choose to go straight onto the site itself. No, Kraken, it's not completely out of the realms of possibility. Old Bano with no braino as he gets headshot out there. Simon Cowell just not quite understanding how Armory's utility works and going for the Gone 6 breach into the office, but it works nonetheless. He is in. He is holding off the angle towards Piano. Unfortunately, that is not where they are. Now he needs to get it above, start applying some pressure as Frankie taking some punishment. But the Solarium stairs push from Simon Cowell could open things up, and Sealy's dead again.
Cowell just being very, very careful, does find one and a second as well. He's on a heater, and now things are changing. 3 players remaining, but 1 to go for Kraken to find, and that could put them on to match point. Plant going down. Krunai has taken the top floor, but as we said, they've just foregone it entirely. No fuse charges going downwards. We'll find NZ Frankie's feet, but he has to find the other heads of Helix and Chef Jeff. It's a difficult position to be in for anyone, including Krunai, and Helix will be able to shut him out to put Kraken on match point.
So far, commanding effort from Kraken. Team 7, struggling. Mostly Sealy. One day he'll get there, don't you worry. He will get himself on the board. He'll get some kills. He'll be right there at the top with the rest of them. But right now, he may only have one more round to get a kill on the board.
Our last 2 attacks from Kraken have been very, very convincing, almost flawless rounds in those situations. The kills that were found from Team 7 weren't enough to make an impact. Kraken still had all the post-fight positions, had all the positioning and the utility to work with as well. Team 7 now are feeling the pressure. They've got 4 rounds to make up just to take it to overtime, whereas Kraken, no, they have almost booked in their playoff spot.
Yeah, I think this round here would all but lock it out. Much like Sealy's been locked out of this game. But I mean, you got to respect the numbers. Yeah. Look, I don't think that's it at all, Helix. Unfortunately, it's just not his day.
It could just be Australian internet. Australian internet, of course, known for being excellent. Campo also having an excellent day, finds Chef Jeff as well. A good start, taking out the man himself. Certainly a good start for a round that's much needed by Team 7.
does not really surprise me at all in the grand scheme. Chef Jeff just blind opening a doorway to die. This is why you drone, ladies and gentlemen. This is why you look for information and try and use it as much as possible. But right now, Campo could likely be the difference maker here for the Team 7 roster. Simon Cowell in piano. John Berenthal goes down. No smoke for the remainder of the round. Swing on. Saber comes out on top of that. Crew Knight takes down Helix as well. So the opportunities for a kill here quickly dwindling for Seal. He's got 2 more options here in the 9th round. Where is he, though? Can he find it? Frankie's in. Frankie's in stock. He's got the diffuser as well. I don't know what Bano's doing, but Frankie is in.
Well, one problem, of course, going for that plant is you are exposed from the hatch. I think Bano might have been trying to catch that player as they peek that hatch or potentially drop. But still, there's more players that can rotate down to contest the plant. So very, very challenging, and looks like they're just going to waste some time trying to catch a player rotating back and look for some freebies, or maybe just next round. They have a lot of rounds to work with after all.
Well, this could be the make or break. Bano finally looking to get himself into the building, but it seems that Campo has, the camera helps in that situation. Frankie goes down. Crew Knight to take it. The shot's on. Sealy's on the board. He's got his breadstick.
I think ANZ Frankie might actually have been AFK at that point, maybe just taking a bit of a chill. But hey, it does give Sealy a chance to redeem himself. He finds himself on the board here. 3 and 6 now, 3 rounds, still quite a distance to make it, but it's a good start. But based on how Kraken have been playing, I don't think Team 7 will be getting very far with it.
6-3, only 3 rounds needed to get to overtime, but that is a bit of a push, even at the best of times. How much faith do you have here, Spud? Do we get overtime, especially with Sealy finally getting himself on the board?
This is the magic ingredient they need. Sealy in play, Team 7 back as well. Of course, 3 rounds is still a difficult measure to get past. They're going to have to bring out their best in order to make it there. Certainly not that drone shot. Oh, there we go. He got the drone. Eventually, he got it.
All you got to do is believe. Have faith that they can make miracles happen. And as it stands, there is that possibility that we see this pushed, but look, I'm going to be honest. I think Kraken want to close this one out. No more shenanigans. Crew Knight, though, might be able to throw that spinner into the works.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Gonna find an early pick. Kraken are a little bit more careful this time, especially Chef Jeff. They do have a job to complete. Of course, they do need to find that last round to put themselves in the playoffs. Solarian take, it seems, starting over from this western side. Is it west? No, from this northern side, sorry. They don't have a hard breacher, so that's going to be the only option, I think, in this case.
Sealy, come on, man. I believe. I have absolute faith that you can do this. Chef Jeff getting cheeky with a sledgehammer from down below. Nate traverses the 2nd floor. Unfortunately, not going to find anything, and Jeff's just dead. Crew Knight finds the angle, shuts him down, says enough of this.
Ready to get sneaky. Campo does take a significant chunk of damage, almost dead as well, but traded out for Chef Jeff, and without much control to go with it, I think it's probably worth the deal. It's now up to Kraken to push up those solarium stairs, at least find a pick to even things out, because if they keep waiting like this, I think Team 7 will certainly be able to get the win.
Look at the crossfires here. Unfortunately, Simon not quite patient enough here. Toxic canister on Solarium. Bano forced off the angle. John Berenthal looking to punish if possible, and unfortunately the ankle's missed. Bano presented with the opportunity, but Simon Cowell falls. Crew Knight on a bit of a heater here in the half, looking to try and shut it down. Oh, what a shot onto Sealy. Unfortunately caught out by the AK-12, but Crew Knight not done by any stretch. Saber there for one as well. Frankie being run out on. in a bit of trouble. Just peek in the corner. Crew Knight. One more, come on. The Prisma. The shot's on. Crew Knight falls, but Frankie. Honestly, if he stubs his toe on a blade of grass right now, he's going down.
I can still have a little bit of a dream. That's 1 HP of a dream, but it's going to be a difficult uphill battle. Team 7 have all the positions they need. No smoke canisters, so at least he doesn't have to worry about that. But two very, very potent players wait for him as well. He's going to have to at least find one to turn it into 1v1 and make things doable. But with 20 seconds on the board, I'm afraid there just isn't enough time. He's just going to send it and hope for the best.
Frankie, 11 kills, 40. He's just pre-firing everything on full well, and a single shot is going to be his death there. Has the smoke, 6 seconds to do it and save it. Playing in the bathtub, holds him out. Big kill to close out the round, and right now, Team 7 are clawing it back.
Well, so now 2 rounds behind. They've halved the distance between them, separating Kraken and Team 7. What was once looking a little bit out of reach has now become so much more achievable. And for Kraken, that spells trouble, because if they don't win, of course, and get a grip, take that win, Kraken could lose their playoff spot. So it's now or never, boys. You want to get that win, probably want to do it soon.
Yeah. Kraken, though, feel like maybe they are just straightening up going into this potentially last round. They want to bring some more intensity, and never mind. Okay, it's just a bit of a swapping around. No fuse this time for Helix. It's the Ying instead. So this is probably more in line with what one would consider a meta lineup. But in saying that, stranger things have happened.
Question, of course, is whether Kraken are going to commit to the full roam, clear out those players, in the kitchen dining area, or they're just going to open the wall and send it straight in. Team 7, of course, were able to exploit the weaknesses of Kraken's defense, placing so many players and emphasis on that kitchen dining area. But will Team 7 make the same mistake on their defense? Kraken on the attack on the basement for match point.
Well, EMP out. Exothermic there as well. The Artilla Claw. They should be able to get this one away. And yeah, unfortunately, poor John Berenthal, the Caillou, not going to be able to make it work just yet. They clear out some of this utility. Chef Jeff, flashbangs in hand. They do have the smokes from Helix, so they do have the opportunity to provide some cover, but you got to remember, Saber on that warden could definitely make this one a bit of a problem.
Still not quite enough map control to go for that execute. They're going to start clearing out these top floors as well, getting rid of some players and ensure they're not going to get stabbed in the back with that plant. Of course, usually the plan is to open up that wall, put one player there, to hold the cross, and then they're going to start working from the backside, which is, of course, where Chef Jeff has rotated. Of course, they still need to take out Campo. He does go down, Simon Cowell, able to find the down, but not quite the kill yet as they look for that information.
I mean, that could be the linchpin if they do remove Campo. Might be the domino. Starts the downfall of Team 7. Helix, Crouch walking his way through kitchen, trying to be a bit sneaky, trying to find some off angle onto an off-site player, but not to be just yet. Sealy, the only one up on mezzanine, is well and truly isolated right now.
Bottom floor. Sorry, this trophy area has been ceded to Kraken. And with Krunai going down as well, he did post up that 3k last round, not this time. It does mean Team 7 are in a little bit of a precarious position, especially with Campo already on so low health. Utility clear coming through now, trying to get rid of that shield and look for any players behind that wine cabinet. It is about time for Kraken to make that execute. Saber, however, does find Bano outside the breach, and that opens things up to rotate across here as we go into the dying 30 seconds.
My God, what a hold off from Team 7. Simon Cowell trying to find the pixel angle on the head, but can't do it. Impacts out, knows that he's one in blue. 2 versus 4 currently. Shots on, but not connecting. Helix needs to find the opportunity spots. The pick still in the one tap onto Saber. Brings it down to the 3 versus 1. Candela's deep, looking for the angle. Unfortunately, it bounces back into him. Can't quite line it up. Simon Cowell dead to Campo, who finds yet another. Down at the start of the round, but not it out by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, they will have wished they kept... Well, they killed, Campo earlier on, because that certainly came back to bite them. He got down the hatch, managed to get picked up, and of course, able to clean up Kraken right at the end. Kraken, of course, had a fairly good start, and mid-round, of course, but weren't quite able to get that, execute the positions and utility being held by Team 7, especially behind that shield at blue. Just made it too difficult to get into.
Well, full regulation now somehow is where we find ourselves. I do not expect that, given the scoreline was, what, 6-2, 5-2 at one point. But here we are, and the momentum is solidly on the shoulders of Team 7.
Kraken seem to have fumbled a little bit here. They've dropped the ball. They've got one round to make it before they get forced back into overtime and a reset. Now, this reset, of course, might actually end up helping Kraken as well, but certainly you don't want Team 7 to be able to build that momentum back up, be able to say, hey, we brought it back from a 2-4 all the way to a 6-6. So, yeah, Kraken have some work to do, especially if this kill by Campo falls onto Helix. That's unfortunate.
Helix, my guy. It's not that hard. It really isn't. It was Helix. It doesn't count. Okay, there you go. Comments in chat, voice chat, whatever the case may be. Campo has made his statement, and unfortunately, Helix may not get to turn around and dispute that.
Well, we're just waiting for Kraken to get a kill onto Sealy and say it doesn't count. It was only Sealy. Here he is. He's in the building. Simon Cowell does jump all the way in, but Sealy gets away with his life after doing a significant chunk of damage. There he goes. He does get shut down by... Oh, no. He's down, but Kruno finds one onto Bano, I assume, in pursuit. And suddenly, things are looking like we're going to go to overtime.
Do it, Campo. Do it. Come on. Give into it. Oh, no. Oh, no, Campo. You whiffed. You had the opportunity. You could have been the one to take Sealy out of the round, but not to be. You let Frankie take it. Unfortunately, Simon Cowell, not much longer as Saber decides to get involved. But the thing that I'm most intrigued by here, Spud, there is a cap can in play and a Frost. Is there anyone who might step into these traps? Who could be the one to fall?
Something tells me it's going to be Chef. I don't know why, it's just this instinct, this hunch that he's going to step in a frost mat right at the end when it most counts. It's going to be a 1v1, and he's going to step in a frost mat.
Classic Chef moment there. They're going to open up the angle onto the mezzanine. And, well, Crew Knight does find Frankie, and Chef is just going to die to save, but never mind.
Regardless, it will be a round for Team 7, putting them into overtime. It's been a long time coming. There were 4 rounds down. Kraken was sitting on match point for so long, but Team 7 have managed to find overtime.
Oh dear. Well, potentially another 3 rounds, minimum 2, of course. That's how overtime works. But again, Team 7 have all the momentum in their pocket. So Kraken starting on the attack as well, which means they'll have 2 attacking rounds, is a bit rough.
Kraken now looking to change things up and make sure they don't get spawn peaked for one thing. They have been falling victim to it a number of times. I don't think I've seen Team 7 getting spawn killed like that. So Kraken certainly have something to work on, something to learn for. Whereas Team 7 certainly going to be feeling happy. The momentum is in their favor here as we move into the first round of overtime.
5 seconds left.
Well, maybe Kraken. I mean, Kraken guaranteed 1 point here.
Moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
They were on 10, weren't they? Do they have the head-to-head against Get a Grip LFO? Do you know?
We'll Get a Grip LFO are on 8 points at the... Oh, not again, guys. I just said this.
So Kraken are now guaranteed 11 points. Get a Grip are on 8. So even if they win in full regulation, it then goes down to the head-to-head because they both get 11.
It'd be down to round 1, and I'm not sure I have those numbers. And Team 7 Underground also on 11 points, so that could throw a spanner into the works there. We'll have to see coming up how that goes. That is, of course, if Kraken win. If they lose, then anything goes. And Get a Grip still need to actually get a victory without overtime for that to happen.
Well, Frankie Dead already is not the greatest of times, but look, at least it wasn't Helix. He survives into the round with the Lion. They've got secondary hard breach gadgets. Crew 9 going on a bit of a tear. Jeff answering back with close enough to a shotgun. Spots to play a top library, but it's Simon Cowell in the right position at the right time to capitalize. Swings aggressively and shuts him down. He went into the 3 versus 3. There is actually no breach denial, so this office wall could be opened up anytime.
Yeah, Simon Cowell is going to be thanking his lucky stars. He brought the extra hard breach charges, so they will have a point of entry. Otherwise, things could be looking very, very different. However, Simon Cowell does take his big chunk of damage here to Campo, and he does almost fall. He's a little bit... No, it's a trade.
They traded.
It's a 2v2.
But the health advantage is there for Team 7 right now. Plus, John Bernthal has 2 toxic canisters. Jeff gets himself in a position to go for that defuse plant. Helix has to cover here, but you look at Sealy's trying his luck. He's gearing up for the swing onto that half wall. Toxic canister, not enough to deter. So, Jeff, hold the F key. Come on, buddy. You got this. Never mind. Helix is dead. Sealy's got himself 2. And all of a sudden, Kraken with the opportunity.
Looking good there for Kraken, but suddenly things have turned the other way around. Team 7 actually leading for the first time in a long time. I'm just going to go back and look if they were ever leading. In fact, no, they were never leading. They were tied at one point when it was 1-1, which was a long time ago. But first time, they are now actually winning, and Kraken are going to be a little bit upset about that.
Attackers need to locate and
Look, it just makes for the miracle comeback, of course. But right now, John Berenthal hovering the blitz. Maybe some more shenanigan at the foot. Campo is also only 3 kills away from the 20 bomb here. And you can see Kraken bringing the rook just to make that job a little bit harder.
attackers have discovered the location of the bomb.
The big numbers being put out by these players here. Krunai especially, I want to highlight, is a substitute here. So the super sub coming in clutch. Can't say the same thing about Helix, but I'm sorry, I have to say it. Does he get... Oh.
It's Cowboy time. He hits it with the MP5 instead. The setup, nothing crazy. In the defense, on the attack though, it is a wild time. Blitz, Armoru, Lion, a lot to enable this push. John Bernthal wants to go in through Solarium. They're going to pop the window. They're going to look to pop the right panel as well with that breach charge. I don't know what John is doing right now. Hunter is sitting there, just waiting. Honestly, I kind of want to see him hot breach this. There we go. Mad respect. He went for the hot breach attempt, but he's in. John Bernthal, an absolute menace to society, going for the hip fires. Can't find it. Jet forced into the angle. Campo's covering. This is bleak for Kraken. Team 7 might just be able to close this one out here, Spud.
Felix does at least shut down Hunter. And Simon Cowell finds one onto Sealy as well from that long angle. Well, the Blitz was threatening to do a lot of damage, at least disrupt the defense, but Kraken have recovered somehow. Team 7, however, are following back up, getting that diffuser. Simon Cowell and Bano, however, able to find crucial kills here, and it's all up to Saber now in a 1v3.
Whee, Bano in the bin. Change it to Bino. Frankie down as well. Saber hitting the real demon hours, looking for the plant. Simon Cowell. Where's the ankle punch through the wall? Surely. No, he's gone the wrong way. He's gone the wrong way.
Oh no!
Somehow makes it work though. As Saber whips the opportunity. Mag dump and Simon Cowell on for the defuse. We go on maximum OT.
Bomb diffuser disabled by defenders. Defenders win.
That was almost a bit of a throw there. Almost. It was a 3v1 in favor of Kraken, and Saber was able to find 2 of them. Fortunately, Simon Cowell's still in play, and he does manage to get that defuse, but too close, I think, for both of these teams.
Well, one more round, guaranteed. Shenaniganry has been afoot. What do we get? How do we close this one out? The attack looking a little bit more serious out of Kraken. Team 7, again, still looking a little sweaty. Wanting to bring some intensity here. And we head to bar game and look to close it out, Spud.
This match has gone all the way. We were a little bit in doubt of that when it was 6-2 at one point, but Team 7 certainly have showed up after that. And now we head to maximum overtime. One more point is what either of these teams need to get that victory. Kraken looking to keep their place in the playoffs. Team 7 looking to dominate as usual. And, you know, second place last time, maybe they can get first place out of the groups this time.
We'll have to see. Campo. Honestly, it's a race now between Campo and Saber to see who can hit the 20 first. Both of them rapidly racing towards it. John Bernthal, the sausage again. Yeah, look, it is anyone's right now.
Oh. He knows. Neither of them able to get that kill. But no spawn peaks this time, which is really, really good for Kraken. They have historically fallen for that a number of times, and being able to keep that extra player alive certainly will help them in the long run.
Shots on again. But no real traction. Simon Cowell just crouch walking his way through the basement. True degen behavior with a G36, as you'd expect. But it is the long game. Playing a little bit slower, looking to try and pinch into anyone off site. Especially with this game's bar defense. If you can get control of Fireplace stairs, that's huge.
Kraken playing a little bit more cautiously now, trying to get that information before they go for that pick. They may have actually bypassed Hunter upstairs. I'm not quite sure if they're aware of him or they are going to hunt him down, but it seems the drones have passed him by, and that could be huge. Hunter could hit that flank late in the round when they least expect it, or when they're trying to play that vertical. Coming soon.
To a theatre near you, in fact. Chef Jeff is here. John Berenthal is right there, crouch walking with the sausage. He's gone the wrong way. Unfortunately, never mind. He's found Frankie, who is now to live with the fact that he was taken out by the Russian shotgun, the SASG. Chef Jeff, can he recoup? No, he can't. Oh, well, he can, actually. I was going to say he couldn't, but he can. He does get the drop, but Sabre might be there to capitalise. Rotations come through. So realistically, they should be able to get John down and out and escape the wrath of Sabre here.
If Chef at least does avenge his teammate, and he's going to fall back, but that's so much time wasted. Just look at it. 2 minutes 20 used already. They've got 40 seconds now to work with this. 4 players remaining for Team 7. Bano already down and Helix out as well. It's all up to Chef Jeff. Can he make this work? He's 9 and 11. Can he make it at least a positive and win this round? But he cannot. Sealy and I think Sabre, will be the one.
Timeout called.
Team 7
Yeah, look, it is the victory overall, 8-7, going the way at Team 7. They drew it out. They made it go the full 15, but poor Chef Jeff, unfortunately in the bin. Again, Campo as well, denied his 20 bomb there. Sealy, 4 kills. And look, I have good news. We might be having a chat with him very, very soon, Spud, and I'm definitely going to be asking him about that.
Amazing game from both sides. I mean, 8 and 7, it couldn't have gotten any closer, but especially congrats to Team 7 there. They were, of course, 2-6 down at one point. They're 4 rounds behind, and they managed to win, I believe it was 5 in a row to take it to that overtime. 4 in a row. And then, no, 5 in a row. Yeah, 5 in a row. So really well played by them. And if you just look back at the replays, of course, there's so many great moments. Campo, of course, with the spawn peak, always catching players off. I think that was kind of the undoing of Kraken. They just weren't prepared for some of this odd angles that Team 7 were playing, and the aggression caught them off guard.
Yeah, look, it was like you said, that aggression that just Kraken weren't prepared for. How many of these worked in these situations where they shouldn't? Krunai, Campo, and Saber, I think, even got involved in a couple of them, but Saber almost pulling off that massive 1vx clutch. Unfortunately, just missed out against the Oryx. But on the whole, it made for some highlight plays. It was an exciting start to the day.
Yeah, look, I already said this was going to be the match of the day. And 8-7, there you go. It was indeed. My predictions have once again been proven correct. But of course, it does mean Kraken are in a little bit more of a precarious position. They do take 2 points. So if we go back to the numbers, 1 point, they do go up to 11 points. They're now tied with Underground Gaming. So it'll all depend on how Get a Grip go, and then the round difference. Can't wait to see how that plays out.
Well, at the end of the day, it is always about min-maxing. We have the team that won with the player who got the least frags on the day coming into chat. Sealy,
come on,
an
man.
uncharacteristic in the bin performance. What do you have to say for yourself?
I had 160 pings, so I blame that. That's my excuse, is the ping.
Yeah, right. That's pretty fair.
Which I think is
but
pretty
considering
fair.
You guys... Yeah, right? I mean, you guys still won. You came back from a 2-6
If
episode.
they can do it in Apex South, you can do it here in ANZ.
Listen, Panda, mate, I'm not an Apex South player. I've been in a bit of a slump lately as well, but look, my teammates are the best. We had my old teammate Crucial in for a game. He farmed, as usual, just like the old days on Bandits, so I was sorted.
Well, look, talk us through it. A lot of aggression on the defense going on to Chalet. How much of that was planned? Did you intend on bullying Helix as much as you guys did?
Yeah, well, my objective was if I ever knew it was Helix, I would swing him every time, but he killed me every single time I swung him. So my plan didn't work for me, but it worked for everyone else. Beyond that, there's not much planning that goes into our games. If you heard our comms, it would be it'd be horrific. There's just everyone's laughing. We barely do site setup, so it's just, every game's a bit of fun, especially this one when everyone's using subs.
Of course, last question. For next week, playoffs, how are you guys feeling? Are you guys feeling ready?
Yeah, I'd say so. Every game, we just come in, we have fun. So we'll keep doing the same for playoffs. And hopefully next time I play, I won't have 160 ping. And hopefully I can actually get some kills. So yeah.
Look, it's about getting Apex South ready at the end of the day, Sealy. You got to get yourself in the mindset. 160 ping, no obstacle. But look, we'll let you head off, mate. You can go celebrate with the boys, get ready for playoffs, and bring that same intensity into next week. Of course, it's been great having you here.
Thank you very much. Have a good night, guys.
Spud, match 1 done. We go the full distance. 15 rounders done. But it's only the first match of the evening. We have 2 more to be played. So when we come back after the break, we jump on into match 2 to see just how much we can shake up this top 4. See you back soon.
whānau, that guy's NJ here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Tahamaki Makaurau to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Tahamaki Makaurau. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable, like the motion platform's super nice. It's actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys, we're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket, and it's for ages 8 and up.
Coming back in, ready to rock it. You see what I did there here at LPL Pro for Season 2 of 2022. Coming to the final play day. We've had one match go the full distance, 15 rounds in the Kraken v Kraken matchup. Like Chef Jeff said, Kraken beat Kraken in the Kraken versus Kraken matchup. Campo denied his 20 bomb Elbozo, as the tweet goes. But that's only match one. We've got another match here ready to go. The second of the evening. It is going to be Get a Grip LFO taking on Not Quite Sure and Spud. Been remnants of some big teams coming into this from the Oceania Challenge League. Up first, Get a Grip LFO. I mean, formerly ANZ. They've been just a number of different names. Drift's finally coming back in. Jin, Ducko, Coach Pronewin, the other boomstick connoisseur, not so much as of late, and River rounding it out. How are Get a Grip doing at the moment?
Look, they haven't had the best season, but they have used this opportunity to be experimenting, to be building up new things and learning, and I certainly expect better things and bigger things from them in the future. Of course, they have done some great numbers on some other teams as well. They did beat Circular Spheres early on in the season on overtime on Villa, so this might be where it all changes their fortunes.
They beat who? Sorry, never heard of those guys. But right now, their opponents, of course, coming into it. Not Quite Sure. President, Fakers, Karma, Dirty, and Elements. And this one has all the makings of the Demon Stack.
Yeah, look, just seeing Karma's name, everyone should be afraid of that because he has gotten so many kills, so many aces. I believe it's 2 aces so far in this tournament. So really looking forward to how Not Quite Sure are going to play out today. Of course, it's going to be against their old enemies Get a Grip, so we'll see how that goes.
It's going to be an interesting one as we head to our Biocode Lab head-to-head matchup for this Game 2. It is Drift at Elements, 2 stunner gunners that could come into the game swinging and be quite decisive in how it plays out.
Yeah, 90 Jin, obviously a very, sorry, not 90 Jin, iDrift has been doing a lot of work for his team, ex-Kraken as well, I believe. So we're just seeing all the Kraken players here tonight. Elements as well will be known by a lot of fans out there. Certainly, battle of the big players, I think, big names all going out tonight.
Yeah, look, it's definitely going to be an interesting one. I'm excited to see, where these guys go for one. Let's head to the map vetoes and see where they're going to take to the battlefield. And, well, we get all the fun maps banned out. We go back to Villa because none of these teams like to have fun. They are just boring.
Yeah, Villa has been another one of those maps we have seen over and over again previously. But of course, Get a Grip do have some pretty good results here. They did win in an 8-7 overtime. Not quite sure as well, though. It was a 7-1 against F2. And that was, I've actually got written 4 flawless rounds in a row, followed by an ace. So not quite sure, definitely know Villa really, really well.
Did they have their monitors turned on?
I'm not quite sure about that.
What was I don't know. Whatever the case may be, we're here. We're going to Villa. It's pretty simple stuff. Like, it's pretty strategic. It's about the roam game. I'm expecting drifts. I'm expecting elements to have a bit of fun.
Yeah, the size of the map does lend itself to both attack and defense. On defense, you do get more room to roam. But for the attackers, it does give you more opportunities to cut off the defenders as they attempt to rotate back. And you don't have as much opportunity for the defenders to be moving players around to support each other, unlike, say, coastlines. So it will depend on who is able to make the best use of the map.
Well, let's get on into it. We're heading to Tuscany, Italy. We're going to the countryside, to the vineyard that is about to run red with not wine, but something else. Let's get into it. I don't know why they've got Adam Driver on the wall. That is an interesting painting, but let's get on to the operator ban phase. And look, makes a lot of sense. Get a grip. Don't want to borrow it. They're going to get out of here immediately.
Yeah, Knock would be so powerful being able to sneak in through the basement, get into the map without that intel being provided, and with 2 frag grenades and that amazing FMG9 could certainly do a lot of damage. Not quite sure going to take out Flores. It's going to make removing some of these shields a little bit more difficult. You still have a full set of grenades everywhere to work with, but I do like that ban.
Yeah, the Flores makes a lot of sense here on Villa. Azami as well. So far, we are doing things by the book.
Azami, of course, another strong operator to remove off the board. You can cut off a lot of angles. I've seen it being played, especially on that first floor kitchen dining area. So no surprises there. She's just a really powerful operator. Knock and Azami seem to be in fashion these days. Get a Grip will finish things off with a Valk ban, and I believe, apart from the Flores, we're actually seeing almost a repeat of last map's bans.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think the Buck was a unique circumstance in that Chef Jeff is a bit of a fiend with the Canadian. That here, walking at them. My disappointment is immeasurable and my day is ruined.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Get a Grip starting things off now. Aviator Games, the usual primary site. It's going to be how they set things up. They have got the usual setup as well. I see plenty of utility. You've got the smoke with the shield, Ducko, alibi, and a shield to boot. And then, of course, all the grenade denial you could possibly want. It's going to make flushing these players out of those power positions so difficult, especially that red stairs position. I assume it's going to be played by Jin with those ADSs.
Well, let's get on into it on the defense. Pretty standard stuff, honestly. The Jaeger Airmite combo paired with the Rooney means there's a lot of utility that will need to be committed to burn their way onto the site. They bring the alibi, which is just a staple at the moment on Villa. Such a strong operator with a great gun to boot. And it's interesting. We see Elements, again, making that transition. He started off as an entry, then moved to the support. Now he's playing flank watch for this team, and it's also great to see Dirty finding somewhere. He's been, after last season of LPL Pro, he was looking for a team to get sorted with, and here he is.
You're not quite sure, of course, at the top of the leaderboard at the moment. So Get a Grip do have a bit of a challenging battle ahead of them. Of course, nothing is impossible. Get a Grip have felled similarly skilled teams, but in recent weeks hasn't been going so well, so they do need to make an improvement here to get the victory.
And they're gearing themselves up for this push. A lot of utility being committed to try and push on into the building, a lot of info gathering as well. And you can see Get a Grip all just flooding back towards that site right now. They don't want to bar of it, but Karma pushing in down below should get the Inox scan off. Identifies Jin, but he as well will be able to get himself up towards red stairs, hold a better position with drifts, and it's now line in the sand. Teams really covering half of the map each.
Karma does find one onto Jin, so that's a red stairs player, but there's a second to take the position. iDrift still there as well. President looking to challenge that, getting the utility ready to burn that out. Karma, however, is once again on the hunt for roamers, though there aren't any in play. Both teams, well, Get a Grip, sorry, are anchoring hard on these power positions.
That shield though for drifts, cheeky little pixel angle that he might be able to play off of, but just going to slow it down for now. There's a minute left, and you look at the utility that is available. 2 toxic canisters if they can burn some more time. Ruber just getting the hell out of the dodge there in classical, almost caught by the 90 corridor, but you're looking at the spread from not quite sure. They are trying to get in below as well to threaten, get on that classical window. They're trying to get as much spread as possible before the execute comes.
Get a Grip, for the most part, had been playing a fairly well set up defense. They've fallen back when they needed to at 1 minute to go. Elements does, however, find Ducker, and with Jin already gone, their advantage might not be enough. They do at least down Karma, and with Owen finding that kill, however, at the cost of his own life, almost, it's 3v3.
Prez gets taken out of the equation, so 3 versus 2, unless they can get Owen back up. But I think the likelihood of that dwindling as we head to the final 10, but the force has to come here. Not quite sure, need to get themselves into the site with 6 seconds remaining. Doesn't realise that just tucked to the corner is Drifts right now. Elements for 1. It's just the down player though. Fakers pushes in, catches Drift out, and somehow, not quite sure, make damn well sure that they close the round out, and that could have been a dicey one to close.
Yeah, some good setup there from Get a Grip and falling back when they needed to, but unfortunately it just was not enough to stop Not Quite Sure. Not Quite Sure, of course, with the first 2 opening picks, and then even though Get a Grip were able to find some back in return, Not Quite Sure were keeping up in step. Ultimately, of course, it came down to that last player caught looking the wrong way. There's just too many angles to cover at that point. Not Quite Sure find the first round.
Yeah, look, it was a bit scrappy towards the end there. Definitely could have been possible. I mean, Get a Grip possibly could have won that if Drifts hadn't pushed out of the court. I mean, there was very, very small margins of error there where it could have gone Get a Grip's way, but they look to double down, attempt the same site, same setup on the defense as well. They're going to go for it.
Yeah, like I said, the setup was good. It wasn't all bad, and I think if they had been able to get 1 or 2 picks back earlier on, I think things could have changed and could have been in Get a Grip's favor. Maybe a little bit of roam presence as well early on, just to throw a spanner in the works for Not Quite Sure attack. Before falling off might be the ingredient they need.
Aggression early on. We saw success from Team 7 with that same approach, but Get a Grip a little less willing. I mean, you've got to commit just that little bit more to go for the spawn peaks on this map, and it can be quite detrimental if you're not careful. So slowing it down, waiting for the push to come. The attack slightly different in the form of Fakers bringing the line, and so they haven't got a hard breacher here this time around, but on a site like AVD Games, it's not a necessity. Karma once again kicks things off, taking Owen out of the equation. That is a huge loss to suffer to start.
Okay, at least finds one onto President, but he might be taken down on the way out. He's on low health now. Does get away with his life, but Elements is there looking to cut him off. He might actually be looking a little bit the wrong way. He is now ready, and he does catch Ducko looking the wrong way. And that's a really good start for Not Quite Sure.
Indeed, there's smoke and the alibi off the board, especially with the MX4 Storm. Luckily, they do take Elements out, who has been Bit of a feint for not quite sure so far here on Villa, but I mean, realistically, that's your flank watch. Ideally, hoping that the utility had gone down. Drifts a lovely little angle there on a calm. It takes him out, so they can't quite get the utility through the floorboards. Dirty though. Dirty and Fakers have the opportunity, have the utility here. There's one EE, one D still remaining going into the second half of this round, and they are capable gunners in their own rights.
Get a Grip certainly have been a lot sharper on those trades, and it's working out for them very, very well. 2 players remain for not quite sure, and there's still a minute and a half. I spoke too soon. 1 minute, 1 player remaining for not quite sure. It's going to be Fakers, or however you pronounce his name, up against 3 players who are all very, very good shooters here.
Surely, at least one. No, they're not going to pick him. They're not going to give it to him. I mean, look, at this age, get a grip. Know their win condition. They're not going to do anything silly. They're just going to wait and let Fakers make the play here.
Fakers tossing up his options, trying to find a way in. He doesn't have much time to decide, though. He's got 30 seconds. And no matter which way you go, it's going to be a difficult push. He's got 3 players to find. 20 seconds now, time ticking down. He's got the diffuser. Will he find a kill? He does not. River washes him away. Get a grip, equalize.
1-1. Debut of the game. Defense successful the second time around. Now, though, we have to vacate and go to a different bomb site. I was going to say trophy statuary would be the smart rotation, but what the game plan is, I haven't a clue.
Not quite sure. Looking like they're going to be sticking a very similar lineup with the addition of Hardreach this time. Okay, in fact, it's completely different. The only things maybe similar are the Nomad to cut off some of those rotates and Karma on that Yana. They will, I assume, be pressuring the triple wall then, as opposed to taking an execute into trophy. But of course, they can still start off from the study room or from underneath. So we're going to see how that plays out. They don't have too much vertical to play upwards onto that trophy position. So I'm going to predict a study side and a bedroom push.
We'll have to see. Drifts down on the lurk. Has all 4 of his EDDs. Not going to deploy them just yet. There we go. Finally, laundry. We get 1, 2. 2 on the internal laundry door, I'm assuming, but no, he's still got. There we go. Okay, so yeah, it's all focused down in towards kitchen.
Now that will give them a little bit of information as to anyone who's trying to play from underneath, which they will have to do if they want to get rid of those mute jammers and enable them to open up the wall. Of course, they do actually have Thatcher, so they could just ignore that entirely. But it does appear they are closing in on anyone who's playing in that kitchen area, though the drone certainly has given them information that there is no one there.
Slow. Nothing crazy fast paced just yet, but at least they are in without significant losses. And it is just about scouting. Drifts is down here though. Going to push up the main hallway, get himself up red stairs. So does just get himself out of danger and back onto the site. That could have been a big problem if they'd lost him early.
But now going for the flank, does get caught by the air jab and is forced to fall back as Element is hot on his tail. He will get away with his life, but does do a little bit of time damage. Wastes, not quite sure, time a little bit as they start prepping for the execute.
Again, reasonably passive round. Usually, you know, the games that we've had so far, someone's dead by this stage, but not to be. Minute 15 on the clock, and they're burning all of this utility. River in for the pinch, trying to catch out anyone down below. No one in Memorial just yet. Be a big swing, and President just outright wins it.
Yeah, the good timing and awareness there from President. That Rome, sorry, could have done a lot of damage. But now, once again, they put themselves in the player advantage. Though they are short on time, 1 minute remaining, and they still got a lot of players to find. Ducko now just misses those shots, but at least will store out the entry coming up from Astro.
Attackers recovered the diffuser.
Again, things slow. Neither team willing to hit the throttle, but Ducko might be changing that in just a second. Sees the windows open, swings onto the bathroom, but no, unfortunately missed opportunity. Catches one, pushing up Astro, but the jump in. Dirty, able to trade back for two as Drifts falls as well. Spot knows that there's a third in towards Bricks, but has no ammo in the mag to do it. Elements is the one that has to take over and make it happen. Prez falls. Oh, and unfortunately not a smoke. Elements falls. 7 seconds left, and it's just Fakers alone. 4, 3, 2, 1. The pings, but Fakers pre-fire is just better.
That was unfortunate. If he had held back a little bit longer, he might have been able to hold on to that. I think because he peeked out into the pre-fire. That was unfortunate. It was really close. Owen was on the cusp of clutching out a 1v3, maybe even a 1v4, I think. But alas, it is not to be. Not quite sure. Take their second round, albeit a little bit messy there.
Yeah, look. It definitely could have gone the other way in that final gunfight, but no. They just hold off. Fakers backs himself, has the info that he needs. Unfortunately, Owen just not quick enough on that trigger, and unfortunately as well, he got 2 downs in that round, but unfortunately wasn't able to confirm either of the kills, so still is sitting at a donut.
That's actually really funny. I'm sorry. What an amazing performance, but he's got a 0 to show for it. Hey, we know it's all your strategy that is getting Get a Grip where it is, so, you know, it's not all over. Of course, he does go on to play the Pulse, so certainly with the C4 and the information can do a lot of damage as they go to kitchen dining here, forcing Not Quite Sure to take that vertical first.
Well, we do have, again, a lead, a slight lead, but still a lead. Potentially, I think, on the cards for another very, very deep map here, Spud.
Not quite sure now, making their way from the upstairs as we predicted through the master bedroom, so they're not going to start from the other side. But Ducko will be there to challenge as well as Jin. River also on the other side of the map, just making sure no one creeps up on them from that study side. But so far, so good. Get a Grip holding onto this bedroom area without too much trouble.
River lucky to walk away with his life there, as is Karma. They're getting themselves geared up for this push. Owen has the sensor out and has committed the nitro already, but Elements absolutely whomped by Jin. But unfortunately, it's big damage that's being taken. The swing onto bathroom. Jin spots the pixel ahead. 2 presented opportunities. The third one is good. Keratos out, but he can't get the better of Dirty, who does shut him down. Karma there trying to help. Trying to team up with a swing out. Dirty's good for yet another. Keeps all his health to boot. And all of a sudden, you can see them scrambling like ants. Get a Grip. Had the advantage there, but unfortunately let it slip.
Yeah, just really well coordinated push from Not Quite Sure. They're able to pinch onto those players looking the other way, so really, really well executed, and it does put them into a 3v3 position. River, especially with low health, is going to be an easy target for Not Quite Sure, and if they can find that with Owen on the scanner instead of with a gun out, they only have one more gun to worry about.
They do indeed. But you look at the gun that's there, Drifts running the MK14 EBR is a pretty lethal weapon at the best of times. So that gun can rip and tear if you're not paying as much attention as you should be. And especially in the hands of someone like Drifts, no doubt at all that it can do some real damage here. And oh no, Owen, siege timing at its finest, catches him out, River falls too, and it's on the Drifts and the 1 versus 3 to clutch it up. Watching that China door, Does he spot the player rotating in laundry? He does now, but they're all moving towards this position. He crosses. The plant is going down. The cover is there. Karma shuts it down. And not quite sure. Definitely seemed to have a plan.
Yeah, that kill onto Owen's crucial. He was relaying so much information, but with that vertical play, they were able to take him off the board. And then, of course, you've got River already on low health. Things were never quite the same. It's really good rush onto site. After those initial 2 players that they lost, not quite sure, didn't take a single point of... Well, they didn't take a single loss after that.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Well, that's big. 3-1 start on the attack on Villa. Could be the momentum that they need. Get a grip. Might, unfortunately, have done their dash here in this competition. They'll need to push, dig deep if they want a chance at that playoff spot. Otherwise, they will be relegated to the sidelines to watch for the remainder of the season. But right now, definitely not quite sure in the driver's seat.
Last time Get a Grip missed out on making it to playoffs by a single point. And now it looks like we might have a repeat of history that are very, very close to the players who are, the team, sorry, who are currently 4th. Let me just double check. Kraken, of course, was on 10 points. They are now on 11, so Get a Grip need the whole 3 points to catch up to them. But based on what we've seen so far, not quite sure, don't seem very keen to give that away to them.
A lot of early shots, but no real traction being found just yet. Just a lot of noise, a lot of distraction. But hopefully, Elements doesn't go down too early, because losing your flank watch, losing your nomad could be a bit rough and setting up for a plant denial. Whether or not, though, that comes to Freddy's just holding the angle, being a distraction.
Does have Jin to back him up as well. So River's position is a fairly good one. Last time, of course, when they didn't have that roam presence, they weren't able to hold off, not quite sure, even from those red stairs positions. So this time, that early stall will work out quite a lot. Ducko especially as well from underneath, stopping this entry into library. 1 onto Karma, and that's another kill for Get a Grip.
Start does keep some of the utilities safe for the moment, but Owen having a rather unfortunate game, much like Sealy, but with a less evident excuse. But right now, again, not quite sure, playing this one very methodically, not overstretching, not overextending.
Utility timing comes in perfectly. Drone to back it up knows where that utility is going, and they will force Jin back. 5 players still remaining for Get a Grip, so not quite sure, have some catching up to do, but they're in a good position to do so. They have a minute left now to work onto that site. They do need to get a move on, though.
I think there might be a where my bug going on, but whatever the case may be, we carry on further into the round here with 45 seconds remaining. Some push has to happen, not quite sure. Last time they were able to do it with 6 seconds remaining. They punched on in, took the site, and the last couple of kills they needed for victory here. They're still trying to get themselves this opening spots. The feet! Drift's taking big damage, but Elements is the one to go down next. Jin hit with a full white screen. 2 players in the building looking to push on. The toxic canisters there. Jin catches dirty as Prez crosses. Ducko coming up the stairs. And it's all on Fakers on that rappel. This will likely be a flawless round to Get a Grip. I don't think Fakers has a safe way into the building even.
Yeah, with the diffuser down as well, there's really not much you can do. This is when you take your pseudo. Oh, it's almost going to be a flawless round. I was going to congratulate them on that. Well, Get a Grip do at least get a round, which is something they need, and it is now getting a little bit more even. If they can take this next one as well, make it a 3-3 half, then that's a pretty good performance. Mind you, they do need to go on the attack, but considering this is against the #1 rated team in the league at the moment, 3-3 half's pretty good.
Could have been worse. It could always be worse, of course. But look, there's still the possibility for a 4-2 going the way of NQS. Get a grip if they can just back themselves here in the final round of the half. If they can just remain stalwart, they could take the 3-3, which is entirely possible at this stage. I mean, the crazy thing is, Spud, Fakers is 4-1 right now with 5 rounds played. That's and that is obviously off the back of that last round where he did survive, but look, he's still not been threatened that heavily.
Yeah, comparing to the numbers shown by Get a Grip, it's certainly something to see here. And I mean, if you look at the number of deaths, you always end up with one player left alive. That would be Fakers, right? So if all comes down to it, after all the trades, Fakers is the one who keeps his life and gets around. It does make a lot of sense.
Well, just trying to see if there was anything that might be out there, but no, these guys playing Villa, playing quite vanilla. Like I said, it's going to be a boring map. It is what it is. We just have to agree and move forward. But, I mean, look,
I've yet to see a skyscraper, man. I want to see a skyscraper, guys.
I've casted a couple of skyscrapers. I've done a bit of border, bit of theme park. But, yeah, I'm always down for one of the new maps to come in.
I don't think I've ever casted skyscraper ever since it came in.
We had it last season. It was Underground, I believe, versus Team 7.
Oh, well, looking at you guys, Underground, maybe next map, skyscraper?
No pressure.
Cool. But yeah, not quite sure, currently leading 1 round ahead of Get a Grip. Owen looking like he might get through this half without dropping a single kill, which is, you know, impressive in its own way. And so far they've done a fairly good job of stalling this entry into that Aviator Games area. They've burned out a little under half of the round. Now they will be forced to fall back. River, though, might actually, you know, he's going to get away. Karma and River will pass by each other.
Chips in the night.
Where's Owen gone?
Well, he's going to the grave, unfortunately. It's going to be interesting. Maybe if Get a Grip LFO win, we can ask them what their excuse is. Because Sealy had one, ready to go, locked and loaded in the chamber. It was ping. Owen, what's your excuse, champ?
They're looking to avenge Owen, but he might actually be on the receiving end. He is on very, very low health. Actually, no, sorry, it's eye drift here. But they will let Karma, for the most part, get away with playing these vertical nades. Not going to be anyone in a position to take that damage, so that is good news for Get a Grip, and that is even better. River does find Karma at least. No more vertical grenades, and it's going to force Not Quite Sure to clear things the hard way.
Yeah. They should still be able to threaten at least and potentially punch onto the side, but the cut in deep from behind, Jin on quantity, well and truly wedged into that corner and Bricks right now. He's going to swing, but Fakers forgets about the window there for a second. I'm not quite sure about the breach onto the wall there into statuary, but it is what it is. Air jab goes out. Element's going to hunt it, but he is the one in fact being hunted. Ducko swings aggressively. Prez at least gets one back with 2 seconds remaining though. Prez has to get on the plant. They need to cover him. A single shot could deny, but no. Not going to find it. Drifts. No, that's the wrong call to my guy. And that is a 4-2 half going the way of NQS.
My goodness, that was so close. If you had looked the other way, that would have been a Get a Grip round. And certainly that was one of the closer rounds, or one of all of our close rounds. A lot of rounds have been fairly close, winnable by Get a Grip, unfortunately falling just short. I mean, we saw almost a 1v3 clutch, come out from Owen. A lot of rounds almost turning into 1v1s. That was unfortunately close, but Not Quite Sure do manage to extend their lead.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Indeed. But right now we go into the half, Not Quite Sure, head onto the defense. Dirty transitioning from the Zofia onto the Alibi, and that is a scary prospect. It's MX4 Storm, great little gun, especially on Villa here. So But my big question is, Owen, pick up the Dockerby. What does he pick up at this point to try and have any effect?
Well, calling and then hacking a phone does count as effect, right? It just doesn't show up on the board, so unfortunate. But I do like this lineup. They do have the tools needed to cut off some of these roamers. They've got the Nomad to work with, and Owen on that Dakai beat will be able to locate some of these players playing off-site. I do want to see if they use it at the very late game when they execute to stop anyone getting on cams, or whether all of them will have been used up early on.
Oh dear. A lot of early noise, a lot of early shots coming out from not quite sure, wanting to try and maybe capitalise and get a bit of an early advantage in the pre-fights. Nothing found just yet. A lot of early info in terms of the noise being made here by Get a Grip, but you look at this extended hold, obviously looking to try and contest all the way up to the master bedroom.
Nice aggression there from Jin, but Dirty does catch him as well. A second player to give him backup means he won't be able to get that for free. Dirty, however, does get away with his life, and that's a 1-for-1 trade. 1 minute off the board. That's not bad for either side, but you can argue that Sophia, with those impact grenades and the concussion grenades, was probably a better option here when it comes down to value taken.
Yeah, I mean, you take that as not quite sure. That's a Jaeger for Sophia, so utility well and truly set up. So Prez's loss is just a gun at this stage, whereas Jin has the lifeline as well. Plus that secondary utility in pocket, which they weren't able to get off. Karma playing around the red stairs, might be able to catch a cross here. And this is a powerful position. They need to scout it out if they want to push across.
Located by attackers.
Drone comes in. Location has been given away, but he does have the ADSs and the Wumai magnets to back him up. So he's going to hold on to this for dear life, I think, and not until he's dead at the very least. He can continue to burn time, and speaking of time, another minute has gone by, and Get a Grip haven't really made much progress since we last spoke of a one-for-one trade. So that's a bit of a stall situation you don't really want, especially Karma finding a second here. Now things certainly not looking good for Get a Grip.
River gonna trigger the Banshee there, but still wins the outright gunfight against Karma. 2 versus 3, much more doable than 4 versus 2. River has the breaching charges, but it's a question of what utility is there to deny that shield going down. Toxic canisters out. There is 2 remaining as well with 20 seconds, so every avenue into the site should be able to be locked down. We're not quite sure. They have that utility. Another one over towards that aviator door. River going to push on and shut down heavy by Dirty, who claims both of them with Ripper headshots. They're not quite sure. Take the first round of their defensive half, and they're looking to close this one out soon.
Yeah, the lack of hard breach option there at the end really limited how they could get into sight. There's no way to open up the vault and get that cross. They were forced to push in through those doors, and especially with the bottom of those walls opened up, they're going to know you're coming, and that's exactly what happened. Dirty landed 2 very, very nice headshots, and Get a Grip fall once again, not quite sure, widen the lead.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Going into what could be the setup for Matt Point here, but not quite sure. Looks like it's going to be an aggressive defense here. Shield on the bed, on the bed. Castle barricades covering the windows in the master bedroom. They even popped the hatch there. Oh, and still fragless here in the half, and the map as a whole. Rough gig.
Mind you, 2-6 isn't even undoable for Get a Grip. We have seen them come back from that before. 2-6 down on Villa, so hey, it could be possible. We just saw it before. Team 7 come back from 2-6 to win the map, so, you know, it's not undoable. Certainly difficult though, and not quite sure have been playing very, very well.
Well, this is where Get a Grip really need to start ramping things up if they want to chance back into things, of course. But you can see Duck already leading that charge. Drone's actively in front of him, trying to scout things out. He's going to find his first contender. Pre-fire's on, but Karma is just going to snake his way out of it.
You use those grenades to deny some of the wall denial utility, but I don't think there's actually any in play here. They will try to look for some of these players in common positions, but so far not quite sure are holding on tight with that shield in play. All of the mobile magnets as well. It's going to be a tough nut to crack for not quite for Get a Grip.
Elements, he's holding fast. Doesn't want to go at this position. Karma as well, being threatened on the retreat down to the basement. He's going to be a bit of a lurk presence. Just holding things as best he can, waiting for that pitch to come in late round. But Dirty could really do some damage here.
Player has made it into the bathroom, but it does seem to be an isolated player here. Dirty is holding that angle. Waiting for backup, both of these players, but Owen does decide to push outside. Jin does, and Dirty finds it better of him. That's 5v4 now. Not quite sure, once again, in the lead, not just in terms of player count, but in terms of the round count. Get a Grip need to get a trade back with Elements going down to low health. So does Karma. It's just a matter of time. Oh, no.
Oh, dear. Dirty down. 4 versus 4 effectively, but Prez has that older 5.56. The air jabs being caught by the magnets. Elements is just going to be out of the blast radius, though. Should be good to hold this corner. Dirty finally bleeds out, and Owen... No, Owen finished the kill. He didn't even start it, so Owen's still sporting the donut.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
That's rather unfortunate. Of course, if they manage to win a few more rounds, there's still plenty of time for Owen to get those kills. Elements, so playing very, very close, could make a swing into things here. Deco finds at least a second onto President, clears out that wall, but I don't think he's aware of Element's position. With that cam giving away all this information, he could get caught out.
Elements finishes off. Drifts, 3 versus 2. Make that a 2 versus 2 as Owen falls. Fakers backed over towards the entrance. It's River. Duck in trouble. 2 seconds remaining. Duck is just going to get what he can. Pulls out the knife for Fakers. Knows exactly where Elements is, but it's too little too late. And that will be the push on for the 6th point here. Spud, Get a Grip. Need to win this next round to keep the dream alive. Otherwise, it is all over in their playoffs run. I think it... And anyway, no, it is, yeah. They can't make playoffs anymore.
That's right. They needed 3 points to get to tying with Kraken and Underground, but it will not be anymore. Not quite sure with that 6 points guarantees themselves at least a share of those points. They get themselves at least 1, which means Get a Grip at most gets 2. That puts them on 10 points. It would tie with Kraken if Kraken had lost, but Kraken, after taking an overtime loss, to get 1 more point ahead of them, which means the dream is now over for Get a Grip. All that is left is memes, perhaps, but there's still something to fight for, at least get closer to, I guess, not making playoffs.
Well, look.
10 seconds to go.
Not far to go. They're not quite sure to lock themselves in. Top of the table. I think they've already done it here with that single point anyway.
Attacker's objective is to defuse a bomb.
So they should be sitting pretty. But right now, Fakers has the pulse in hand. It is going to be the kitchen dining defense. There is an IQ from Duck at least to try and read into it, but Owen on the buck. Chef check was denied. Can Coach Pronewin do anything with it?
Owen, there's still time. There's still time, buddy. We can change your name from 007 to 037, maybe?
Oh, when does he find a frag?
Oh, no. Hey, he said it, not me. Starting things off from this study side, a typical approach. They will have to clear that top floor in its entirety in order to make sure they can work the verticals safely. Owen, of course, will be leading that charge with the Buck Skeleton Key, but Elements will be the first to find a kill onto the Sophia. Jin will be sitting this one out.
90 Jin gone. 4 to go, and not quite sure. Luck out. A phenomenal season for themselves. Elements for the double, River Falls. The two entries now gone. Karma tucked into a corner, has one hard left of him. I believe that is going to be Drifts as well on the Nomad. Oh, and dead. Drifts dead. Ducko, the last remaining, heads himself outside. It's looking like it might just be a flawless to win it. Not quite sure. Lock it out with a flawless round to close the match up 7-2 and book themselves top of the table going into playoffs.
Well, we had some high hopes to get a grips, but it is not to be. For 2 rounds is what they took. Against a 7 of not quite sure. Not quite sure, however, will be locking themselves in at the top of the table. Very well deserved. They've had a burner of a group stage, and now they, of course, will find themselves heading to playoffs as the favorites.
A big match that we got to see there. I mean, look, the first one went the distance. This one could not have been further from the truth. I suppose 2 rounds could have been further from the truth, but not quite sure. Well and truly had their grip on the map from start to finish. Couple of shaky rounds to start it off, but they finally got themselves into the flow. They had the momentum. They closed it out, and it really was just a showcase of the individual skill from these guys coming together as a team effort.
Of course, sounds like 1v3 clutch. We see right here, it was almost there, but right at the end, that's really unfortunate. Dirty, however, also putting up a lot of damage, a lot of kills from his name, and of course a well-deserved MVP. None other than Dirty, of course.
And then we've got the wooden spoon prize. Coach Fronwin, a donut to end the map. Unfortunately, could not find a kill, as indicated by that flawless round that ended the map. It was a bit rough. Coach Fronwin needs to get a grip, honestly.
That's one way to put it, but it does end Get a Grip's run for this season. They do once again finish in 5th place, as they did last season. Once again, missing out just by a little bit. This time, of course, they did have some good runs early on in the season. They did take out Circular Spheres, 8-7 on Villa, and that was from a 2-6 deficit. So they've done it before, unfortunately not quite able to pull it all the way this time. So not quite sure, really well played, and unfortunately I think we're going to have to say goodbye to Get a Grip.
Yeah, unfortunately, maybe needed to chalk the palms a little bit there because the grip wasn't quite strong enough. They just slip out of it. Unfortunately, we won't be having an interview. We're going to be throwing it to break when we come back on to the final match of the evening. Underground taking on F2. Be back soon.
That guy's NJ here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Tahamaki Mikoto to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Tahamaki Mikoto. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable. Like the motion platform's super nice. It's actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys, we're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket, and it's for ages 8 and up.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're heading into our final match of the evening. F2 taking on Underground Gaming. I mean, Spud, what a match our last one was. We go to Villa. NQS taking on Get a Grip LFO. And unfortunately, Get a Grip could not get a grip. They just bow out of the competition. A 7-2. NQS finished the season top of the round robin. And Get a Grip just miss out in 5th. And now, though, we go to this potential shake-up of the top 4. The positions are all set. Top 4 is all set. Now it comes down to how that 1 through 4 is filled out.
Of course, Underground Gaming still have an opportunity to change things around. They are currently sitting on 11 points, which is just behind Team 7. Team 7, of course, would be on 13 points given their overtime victory. So if Underground are able to get the victory outright, they could leap themselves all the way up into 2nd place from 3rd, which, of course, is a big performance improvement. Last season, of course, they came in at 4th in that playoffs. Being able to enter the playoffs as 2nd place would be huge.
Well, let's get on into it. Up first, of course, it is going to be the team coming in. F2, the bit of a demon stack in and of its own right. Mez, Freezy, Lugia, Magpie, and Officer
Yeah, like the
Ling.
Pokemon, Lugia.
That's what I thought, but my brain went to Luigi, the other member of the Nintendo franchise.
The other Nintendo guy.
Yeah, that's the one, the green one that no one likes. And then obviously Officer Ling rounding things out. But yeah, bit of a demon stack, bit of a rank stack coming in. It feels like, the best of a couple of different competitive rosters.
Yeah, these guys, of course, coming up from Amateur League after going undefeated. Some great moments from last week as well. Unfortunately, Officer Ling's internet was letting him down. Almost managed to clutch out, but his internet cut out at a 0.1 second on the diffuser. So hopefully his internet holds up this week and we see a better performance from F2.
Sounds like a bit of a skill issue, if I'm being honest. And their opponents, Underground Gaming, coming into it, looking to try and climb the ladder last minute. MML, Zuve, Eraser, JPK, and Harry M coming into the competition. I mean, Underground came in last season. They had a very, very solid showing. No Pinku this time around. They've replaced him with Harry M. But I mean, they've got some stunner gunners in their roster as well.
Yeah, overall, a very, very solid and consistent roster. This team puts in the work and they perform accordingly. Obviously, they're not as flashy as some of these big names out there like Kraken with players from higher leagues, but they certainly do put up a really, really good fight. And so to see them being able to take that 2nd spot potentially is really big.
And as we head to our Biocode Lab head-to-head matchup for our final match of the evening, it's Freezy AK and JPK, two gunners who can show up on the day. If they find that opening, if they find the momentum, they could be well and truly deciding the outcome of this matchup.
Yeah, Freezy, we have seen be able to lead the charge and get those picks that F2 are desperately in need of. Of course, they haven't always done so well, so to have someone be able to step up and open things up is huge. Of course, Underground, a lot of star players. JPK is one of them. I expect to see big things from him tonight.
Now remember, we have that Twitter giveaway going on. I don't want to be disappointed with you all yet again if you don't get involved. It's simple. Open Twitter. Whatever you want to start, hi, how's it going? This is my pick for my super team at LPL_success. And then you name the 5 players. And then at the bottom, you put hashtag LPL Pro. It's pretty simple. You can win yourself some goodies. Minimal commitment for maximum reward. Spud, why not?
Well, I can't because I'm part of this, so I'm not allowed to take part in it. But I would. Like, I had Twitter open. I was ready to do it. But yeah. It is what it is, but you guys can certainly take part in it, so make sure to tweet with your keyboards or phones or whatever it is.
Let's get under the map veto for our final map of the evening and see how we're closing out the round robin. And from the looks of it, we are going to be going to Skyscraper to close out the round robin. We finally get there. We get a bit of fun. One of the new maps to come into the pool. Thank everything, all the stars, because the alternative was Villa or Oregon. And I think I would have been suffering from some internet connection issues, much like Ling last week, if we had gone to either of those two maps.
Yeah, it's good to finally change things up. Underground are going to be feeling pretty confident here. They have already booked their spot in the playoffs, so they will be able to experiment here. And what better than Skyscraper? I don't think I've actually casted Skyscraper at all since it came out. It's been that long. So thank you, someone actually picking the map.
Been there a couple of times. It's an interesting map, bit of a labyrinth, a lot of CQB combat, so we get to see a bit of shotgun play. Teams that like to play those lurkers on the defense can have a lot of fun. They get a lot of freedom, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see what these teams bring to bear. I mean, I'm excited. I'm expecting, your standard, Malusi, where my Jaeger combos, but you can get real funky with the likes of an alibi. Set up your utility, head down to the base. There's a first floor, roam around the bedroom, and towards house, that side of things. And look, you can achieve a lot. So if these teams are creative, they like to play into that, lean into that lurk on the defense. We could see some really, really brutal attacking runs.
Yeah, of course, getting into the building will be the trouble here. It does feel sometimes it's a little bit difficult to find an entry point. So I do expect maybe a Kaid being taken off the board in terms of bans if Thatcher isn't available. Just make it a little bit easier for the attack to get a foothold into the building. Of course, I may be wrong. Maybe it's just from my limited ranked experience. Maybe these teams are very efficient and proficient at this map. Certainly would expect them to be picking this map of all things for Underground versus F2.
We should be getting into it just a moment. Let's head on into Skyscraper and see what Underground and F2 have prepped coming into the final week of play before we head to that playoffs, of course. So maybe a case of they're not wanting to show too much info going into that. Well, especially Underground not wanting to show too much info going into playoffs, because the last thing you want is to be red going into that, single elim BO3 format.
Getting into the bands now, and Amaru. Okay, that's new. I mean, it does make sense. It does allow you to get into the building, as we mentioned. That is a difficult kind of process, and having Amaru makes things so much easier.
I mean, I think the priority for Amaru on a map like Skyscraper is less about getting into the building, but getting up onto those balconies early, trying to pressure windows, trying to pressure setups, all the rest of it. Osa as well makes a lot of sense. Is very strong on this map. The defense, I'm expecting the Azami Valkyrie, if I had to call it here, because they again, very, very strong at the moment.
Well, we've seen the Osa ban, we've seen the Valkyrie ban, and the Amaru ban to start things off. What will it be for F2 to close things out?
Ella, okay.
Okay.
Interesting.
Sensing a bit of target ban too.
Couldn't have called that if I tried. Interesting. Don't get hit by train again. Don't F2 have like 3 points? I don't know why they're swinging.
Well, I want to correct you there. It's 3 points from a forfeit.
I think if you're F2, you take the points however you can get them at this stage.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused.
Well, either way, in the defense, Frost, Mira, setting themselves up for this kitchen barbecue hold, which I can't remember for the life of me the last time I saw it. But already we have a call for a mouse bug. That's still a thing. Well, apparently, you learn new things every day. We've got the call for a rehost, which is always fun. But yeah, well, okay. Ling's got his one.
10 seconds left.
Either way, we're going to be having a rehost here, Spud. So, from what you've seen already of Skyscraper, what do you think?
Very interesting order of kills. A team kill to start things off, and then some people just rage quitting. Not quite sure what's going on there. Internet might be an issue. But yeah, look, too early to read into it. I do like that they've gone to a completely different site. I would have expected one of the second floor sites as the primary. So starting off as in Kitchen Barbecue is interesting. Of course, it does give you that option of playing the vertical. You can stall the attack all the way over the top and then down into sight. So I think it's an interesting pick.
Well, it's going to take a little bit longer than we thought, but we had the lobby back up and ready to go. We're going to throw it to a short break. When we come back, we'll jump back into Skyscraper and look to close the round robin out. See you soon.
That guy's NJ here, and I am here at the Sky Tower in Taimaki Makaurau to check out the new Sky Slide, which is just opened. Let's go check it out. This is their brand new virtual reality experience based up on their main observation deck. It's a crazy ride, offering 360-degree views of Auckland at up to 100 kilometers per hour. The motion platform imitates the 3D rendered open-air slides, twists and turns above the skies of Taimaki Makaurau. Counting down. Punch it. Let me at him. Hey! Free air. Whoa! Whoever's done the render for this has done like an incredible job. Whoa! It's also really comfortable, like the motion platform's super nice. They're actually really selling all of these like different twists and turns. Another free fall, whoa! Whoa! We're heading home, boys, we're heading home. Whew. So it's $40 for the experience, which includes viewing platform access, or it's just $15 on top of your tower ticket, and it's for ages 8 and up.
Hello and welcome back, Spud. We're about to get back into Skyscraper. We didn't get to see too much of it, but Kitchen Barbecue, a rather interesting start for both teams at the moment. We were about to get on into it and jump into that Skyscraper action. It's good. You love it. A lot of close corners, a lot of shotgun play, a lot of very snappy shots that will need to be hit. But, I mean, look, F2 at the bottom of the table, Underground towards the top of the table. The script, you would imagine, leans a particular way.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I haven't read the script, so I'm not sure. Maybe there's some miracle comeback, someone comes back with a folding chair. I don't know what's going on. But if I were to bet, I would bet on Underground here, is what I'm saying. F2 might have the advantage here in that it's a kind of a newer map for everyone, so the old strategies and synergies might not be there. And they might be able to take advantage of that, just take gunfights head-to-head. But Underground certainly have shown us that they're very good at those gunfights as well, and their coordination and preparation has always been on point. I mean, they beat Kraken on their very own map by just being really ready for what Kraken were going to throw at them. So I wouldn't be surprised if Underground are ready for Skyscraper as well.
Yeah, look, I'm expecting... I mean, look, in saying that, I'm expecting both teams to understand what they need to do, but this map is probably a little bit more forgiving for that. You don't necessarily need to go too deep into the strat book. Yes, there are still strategic ways to set up each site, but you're looking at a lot of very mechanically intensive gunfights where you're going to need to be snapping, hitting your shots, making sure that you can then obviously readjust should you be re-aggressed upon. So there's a lot of aggressive angles that you need to worry about and contest going into this matchup.
Yeah. Underground have been pretty good at reading into aggression, especially from teams like Kraken. So I wouldn't be surprised if they manage to find a way around it. That being said, if F2 can play to their advantage, and that is just straight up head-to-head gunfights, they might actually have something here, because as we've seen, the synergy and the strategy just hasn't been there throughout the season. But last week, I mean, they managed to rush onto the Oregon basement site, and they completely caught the other team off guard. Let me just bring up who that was. Yeah, they completely caught Get a Grip off guard on that map. So they do have some ways of adapting, and they can make it work, but will it be enough to beat Underground?
Well, let's send it on and back into Skyscraper to get things underway officially this time. Barbecue and Kitchen, of course, on the cards first. This is going to be an interesting one. This site can be quite tenuous to hold. Obviously, a lot of verticality involved. You want to be holding up Engagement above the site. So we'll see whether or not they can make a good hold of it.
Yeah, if they can stall out the time from Underground, then it might force them into an unfavorable position on the plant. Of course, Underground have a lot of interesting tools to work with. They did have the Sens and the Class, and I did look forward to seeing that. But hey, it is what it is. And Eraser bringing the Buck, I do remember his 1v5 clutch with the Buck, so it's a welcome addition. And as we mentioned, that vertical play will be huge.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot of it on this site, especially given that, I mean, you're going to be looking to push into Geisha, you're looking to control. I mean, they got the hatch open as well, which maybe indicates that they are looking to get aggressive. I mean, the mirror window there would also indicate that they're looking to get aggressive on the second floor. So there is, you know, it's going to be interesting to see just how well F2 can play around the setup and how well Underground can read into it.
Starting things off now, first 20 seconds have gone off the board, and already Underground are in the building. They're making very, very quick progress. Starting from this exhibition side, which is what you would expect, they need to sweep across that top floor, take control of it, make sure no one comes back up those house stairs as well, and then start their way playing that vertical, and certainly they have all the tools needed to make that work.
And MML's dead. Absolutely fried by the Magpie. Looking for something shiny and finds the top of MML's head. Looking for more, though. Eraser trying to avenge his fallen teammate. Two options there. Swung out on. And take some chip damage. Shapey K, though, at least will trade it back.
extra shots going out might have given away the position of this last player, but he's still holding strong. One more upstairs, and Geisha will be able to support him as Officer Ling goes back into this carry T room area. He's hiding behind the half wall, but yep, he's definitely being spotted out now. Looking to get aggressive, does almost find it down, but it will be Magpie in the background to get Zuve as well. Play advantage back in favor of F2.
JPK there looking for an angle. The Rays are taking further damage at this point. Officer Ling with a full white screen tucked in towards T. He gets dropped. Luckily the trade is there before he can be taken out entirely. JPK shot through the cupboard only to be taken down from the back. Lugia takes him out of the equation. Heading outside on the rappel towards ventilation. Not really in a position to pick up that kill. Or even much more, to be honest. It is a Thatcher. He's got the wall open. So there is at least an avenue inside the building. There is a player covering that angle. Luckily for the mirror window, he will get out safe. Comes in, wants to jump in through drums, but there's 45 seconds remaining here.
Yeah, this is not going to be a very easy position. I wouldn't say unwinnable, but certainly difficult. With Magpie and Officer Ling though on low health, Underground still stand a chance, but Lugia certainly on that flank was the MVP. And we mentioned earlier about that house stairs, you need to lock that down, and I'm not sure what happened to the air jab. Maybe he managed to get around it, or maybe it went off, he didn't quite hear it, and it will be what cost them the round, but at least still have two players to find. They will play it safe now, and I'm pretty sure F2 take the first round.
Officer Ling just got hit by a headshot. And he's going to go for that defuse. Player on the hatch, can't quite connect, and it's Lugia again. Another lovely little flank there. Will help secure F2 the opening round here on Skyscraper.
Yeah, Underground usually take a couple of rounds to warm up, so I wouldn't read too much into it, but certainly from F2, that was a really, really good start. They held onto the positions perfectly, they had all the support, and certainly it seemed that Underground were a little bit stalled at that shrine area, half cut across the map with the T room, those walls being reinforced. They were stuck outside there for a very long time, and that gave Lugia an opportunity to go for the flank. So for Underground, maybe a little bit more pressure from the Geisha area would have been helpful, maybe even from Karaoke window, but that will have to be for next time as F2 do take the second floor site here.
Well, not quite the start that we expected, but I suppose that's what becomes of a less than conventional site start for a team, especially with Lugia hitting the shots that he was. If he could find more flanks like that, definitely could find some real traction here. But we head to Tea Room and Karaoke, and this one can get a bit funky, honestly. If you get a decent rappel cover on that Karaoke window, it can be quite hard to defend.
Usually you reinforce a wall facing that Karaoke window as well, and I didn't see it being reinforced here, so that could be a potential point that Underground could exploit. But for now, it doesn't look like it's going to be an exhibition side entry moving across the map. This is pretty much what I expected. Last time they got into the map very, very early, it was, of course, once they got into the middle of the map where things stalled out. So, of course, F2 holding on to the side of the map once again, and Underground looking for attack.
Corvin clearing out some of those drones, trying to deny information, presented the opportunity, both teams missing it narrowly. That could have been disastrous for either of them if that opening pick had been found. Losing a Thatcher, losing an alibi. Great gun, great utility on both. Luckily though for F2, alibi already has that utility in play, whereas MFL still would have needed to use the EMPs at the time of his death.
A little bit less confident here from Underground is what I'm sensing. They have taken a while to get into position, into the building in fact. It's only about the halfway mark that they actually make it in. They have cleared the exhibition side now, but the drum and shrine positions are going to be very, very difficult. With two shields, in play, they're going to have to dedicate a lot of utility and time into placing those players in their graves. So worry a little bit for Underground in that regard.
Utility dump going in. Freezy claims JPK, was in the middle of that utility dump towards the top of Dragon Shrine. So mistiming, catches out Underground. A rather unfortunate position in the grand scheme, but right now they've got players who can still frag. They've got the openings available to them. And they still have utility here, which they can make use of.
You know, these drum positions so difficult, and Corvin is able to claim another one for his troubles. Florat will actually fall back as Officer Ling finds a kill. Lugia taking up that position. He does lose his life for it, but Freezy looks to try and get revenge. The Razor at least finds Lugia now, and with the shield down, it's a 2v4. Much more doable, but both players from Underground on low health.
Easily scooped up here. A great start so far for F2 on this defense here on Sky. And well, Corvin finds Zuve, spots the last player crossing, finds that kill too. Eraser down. And 2 rounds to start things off here for F2. And they could look to take a solid lead in this half.
Yeah, if they get the next round, then that will be a complete site rotation, and that's the first time they've managed to do that. They've gone 3 rounds before, but it's always been split up. So being able to do that 3 times in a row, plus on all the sites they want, will be huge, and definitely bodes well for them on this map. It's certainly going a lot better than some of their other attempts.
Looking for the setup here, Office Exhibition, which is where I would have actually expected things to start off, but quite clearly F2 have a game plan and how they want to approach this map, and so far it has been working, so I'll leave it to them. But Underground, a bit of a rough start. I mean, you're looking 4 kills in 2 rounds. F2 have definitely had a dominating showing to start.
Yeah, and this isn't exactly what you'd expect from Underground, given the way they've been performing. They have taken out big names, they've taken out Kraken, they've taken out Team 7, and yet here they've, as you said, 4 kills over 2 rounds. Just not something you would expect. That being said, it's still early days. There's still a lot of work to be done for both of these teams, and F2 and Underground both have a ways to go before closing it out.
Still early days. Still possibilities for Underground to bring this one back. The setup still not quite coming together, I think, the way that F2 would have liked. So they are just scrapping together the last couple of moments. They need to get the last bits of setup done. EMP to come out. Exothermic should be good. I don't think there's going to be no Cade pocket, so they should be able to get this one off. And that wall, nice and wide. I'm not quite sure what the game plan was there. Nitro Cell going to be going out in just a second as well. They know where he is. Ling in a bit of trouble right now. If he stands up, chances are he's going to go down. This could be less than ideal. Ling's dead, unfortunately, caught out by Razor. They find Lugia as well. And a minor lapse in judgment there from Ling gets him stuck in a rather unfortunate position.
Yeah, hopefully it wasn't his internet acting up again and it seemed a bit slow on the reaction time.
Yeah, that definitely felt like he made the wrong decision there.
Ah, all right. So I can't blame the ping this time. Still, there's still 2 rounds up, so it's not too bad, though. This round is looking quite different. 2 kills already from Underground without a response. Smoke canisters already being forced out here. Magpie dead as well. Florat will at least find 1 to add to his collection, but 2 players remaining, 1 off site now. It's going to be difficult.
The Razor just steps out to the master bedroom, locks it down in that house entrance, and Underground are finally on the board. A 2-1 scoreline. An unfortunate series of events there for F2 in that round.
Yeah, suddenly things seem to have stepped up in gear for Underground. They were very slow the previous rounds, but on Exhibition, things went very, very quickly. Sorry, they opened the wall, they got the Thatcher down to get rid of the Cade Claw, and then from there, there's just picking off the remains of F2. Even Freezy underneath being able to get a single kill, that was quickly traded back out by a Razor. So if Underground can pick up that pace and play at the same level they have as that previous round, then I certainly think they're still in it.
Getting the last little bit of setup here. I say last little bit of setup. There's good 20 seconds left, so they are getting themselves well and truly prepped. Looks like Ling, though, opting into maybe a bit of bandit trickery on that exhibition wall, which, I mean, it's a bold call.
5 seconds to insertion.
I do want to see how that goes. I think Underground might be a little confident here with the Thatcher available. They might not choose to play underneath and use those grenades. There's only, okay, sorry, there are 2 sets of grenades, so it is workable. And last time we did, of course, see a Razor go from underneath. So that will be, I assume, his plan of attack. F2, however, could potentially catch out Underground unawares here. Corvin looking at his first pick, will get spotted out and is forced to fall back.
Couple of cheeky window preps here. They are still holding these aggressive angles towards the service entrance, but unfortunately, doesn't matter. Corvin does go down. Magpie there for a trade. Freezy going to punch the window, head outside towards Vent. Spell, but no. No one there waiting for him. Back inside. Looking to play it a little bit smarter. EMP comes out to follow up EMP. The bandit trick is successful. Do they have more? Yeah, they've got another EMP. Unfortunately, they don't have the dual hard breach setup that we see so successfully brought to deal with the bandit tricking on most maps. But Freezy as well, deterring the hold, or the push rather, in from below to try and deter. And Officer Ling, whomped by the nades. Magpie answers back. Ling looking for the bandit trick. He's going to back himself off. Can't do it a second time.
Now, those grenades were really, really needed. Without them, that wall would have stayed shut, and Underground would have had a very difficult time getting into the site. They have once again opened up the wall, but this time at a significant cost. They've lost 2 players, both sets of grenades, and it's half of the round gone already. So F2 already find themselves in a much better position than the previous round, which means they look much closer to getting that 3-site rotation.
Oh dear.
He forgot he didn't have a thermite charge anymore.
Yeah, look, unfortunate. It was there for Zube. They've got office open, but there's so many angles that are being currently held that it could be a hard time. The smoke grenades potentially an option here. They are using that utility dumper in the lifeline, so it might be Zube's time to shine. Dumps the utility, clears the shield, spray on through to follow it up as well. They've got a bit of a crossfire here onto the breach. Clearing out some more of that utility. 37 seconds to make a play on. But I mean, you've got the 2 smokes. Why not? One deep, one shallow. Go for the plant attempt. Be audacious, be bold. And just have your teammate pre-fire the angle. It's a relocate around for Harry M. Trying to cut off the rotate. MML there as well. I mean, they've got to make something happen here. They're just playing so hesitantly right now. And it might be that they're waiting for Harry M to push in to make the play. Magpie just free fires galore. This is a rough spot right now. And there we go. The plant attempt. Smoke's finally going out. So it will be Zube looking to stick things through. MML cutting off the rotate. Big kill there from deep in. Looking to cut things off. And the plant is successful. The MML with the Claymore kill onto Freezy as well. And all of a sudden, F2 with a severe fumble of the bag. And now in the post-plant, Underground have the advantage. Shots on, and Zube and MML close it out. A 4-2 transition into an Underground win.
What an amazing execute there from Underground. We were getting nervous there. It looks like they were running out of time, but they timed it perfectly. They had the pieces in the right position, and they were able to get the smoke grenade down right at the perfect time. And of course, once that was over, F2 just did not have enough map control. They didn't have control of that particular office site in order to deny it. Very well played there from Underground. A bit of a fumble, as you mentioned, from F2 not pre-firing perhaps into that smoke, and it does cost them their lead now. Underground are catching back up.
Yeah, the momentum that they could have generated all but stalled now. To Flores in play as well, but F2 opts not to go back to the same side a 3rd time, which is, look, I'll be honest, the smart option here. That just is inviting disaster. But as it stands, 2 rounds remaining in the half, 2 apiece. The 3-3 likely on the cards here.
10 seconds left before insertion. 5
3 rounds is the best that F2 have managed in any of their games. So to hit 3-3 here with the potential of getting some rounds on the attack, which they have proven quite capable of, is huge. Certainly could improve on their performance that we've seen so far. Underground, however, have taken some time to warm up. The first 2 rounds were a bit hit and miss, but they finally managed to get their momentum back, and with that particular 2v4 victory, I'm sure the mental is going to be great. They're going to be running in and playing at their best now.
It's a Razor on the rappel. As you can see on your screen there, the peaceful tree rappel actually is the karaoke window rappel. I don't think it's going to be as peaceful for very long. Oh, that OTS on the window could be a very, very rough hold. The swing over towards the balcony, and look at that. JPK sends the green wall. Smokes onto the site as well, and oh, what a nade from Zube.
Beautiful execution from Underground. Look at that. 5v2, it's almost a flawless round now. And I'm not sure how Corvin and Freezy are able to take this back. And that is why, my friends, you reinforce that will facing karaoke window. MML finds another now. It's all up to Corvin. He at least denies in the flawless round, but is it too little too late? 30 seconds left to go. He's got 4 to find. Almost takes 1 out, but Harry M closes things out. Underground pull ahead once again.
Yeah, look, unfortunately, another unfortunate situation where Ling, you know, minor overstep there that had disastrous results. He couldn't quite hold off the plant. It's those minor issues that can become big problems at the end of the day. Maybe if they'd held off just a little bit longer, maybe if you swung a bit deeper, but when you've got a Glaz holding that angle, it's never a good time with the smoke coverage.
They will make a return to that karaoke site, and hopefully they will have learnt their lesson this time. But I think Underground are looking for a different approach here. They've gone back for a very conventional, much more standard line up, whereas Magpie has gone onto the water, and I assume specifically to counter any Laz, Smoke, or Ying shenanigans here.
Exciting times. You love to see it, but it's not done just yet.
5 seconds to go.
Underground want at least the 4-2. They want one more.
Attacker's objective is to locate a bomb and defuse it. Defender has been discovered.
I'm reloading!
Underground once again starting off from this exhibition site, moving across the map. It's a very standard approach here, and F2 will be trying to challenge them as much as possible. Last time they had pretty good efforts in the mid-round, especially the middle section of this map, denying that entry, and being able to stall from earlier on will have an even greater effect. Flores not quite able to have the same effect as he would have hoped with the addition of the mute. So at least that's some respite for F2, able to keep their shield positions a little bit longer.
The attacker's bomb diffuser has been dropped.
Well, things again, it's such a maze of a map. Those long-range gunfights rarely last that long. Usually it's just a quick flick in, either someone dies or walks away licking their wounds. So you can see it, MML, a couple of shots received, but trades them back aggressively on to Lugia. The Jaeger's got it, will pick up, no, the Wemai rather, will pick up the EMP. So a bit of a consolation, but it will enable the gate wall to be open. Corvin swings aggressively, big damage, but MML wins that one as well.
That is not a fight I expected MML to win just based on the position and the surprise factor, but he is better at it. It's just as simple as that. With that, the drone position will be given up. There's no reinforcements on that karaoke wall, so they will be able to find a way in. MML as well looking for his third now into Acacia to evade to back up. That by Engage, I believe it is. Officer Ling in a world of hurt as MML finds another kill.
Triple on. Can he find any more? Zube taking some real damage. Magpie as well tagged. Freezy, not the healthiest. Realistically, the possibilities of an ace here from MML are achievable. Unfortunately, he does go down, and Harry M also falls. JPK on the plant. Freezy tucked into a corner, trying to hold something. The swing. Zube almost gets the shots on, but the plant is down. Eraser backs off. JPK might be tagged, but he's got the 2 Roteros in pocket. So should a defuse attempt come through, they might be able to deter Magpie getting deep, but Eraser gone. It's JPK. He finds his one. Well, with 26 seconds remaining, Freezy can theoretically just aggress this, but the shot's on. Both players in a position where it's not going to take much commitment for either of them to go down. Come on, Rotero drone. No, JPK. JPK, you got to push it. No, Freezy's pulled off. JPK wins it. In underground. Push on into the lead.
A close one for sure. That was one of the closer rounds we've seen tonight, and especially on this map. But no, it is not to be. F2 pull off the defuse just at the end. Yeah, that is unfortunate. A bit of a Ling flashback there, but it is what it is sometimes. Underground will take that half 4-2. Going on to the defensive side, which arguably would have been easier. So they do have that working for them.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
Oh boy, a real clincher there to close the half underground with the lead and a 2-point buffer. Going to the defense, and this is where things start to get rather interesting. You can be quite creative on the defense on Skyscraper, playing that downstairs lurk. But, I mean, F2, they were up, what, 2-1? Now down 4-2.
Yeah, Underground have been able to take 4 rounds in a row. So F2 up 2-0, and then Underground have definitely made a bit of a comeback here. They've taken some time to warm up, as usual. We've come to expect that from Underground, but certainly that warm-up was well worth it. They now enter into the defensive half with the lead. 2 rounds up, but mind you, 2 rounds in the grand scheme of things is not a lot. And F2, based on the way they've been playing, I certainly believe that they can catch up this distance.
This is going to be quite a telling round, I feel. If Underground win it, I think that's basically game. It just spirals out of control from there. If F2 win it, there is a possibility to come back, but you look at it so far, it's really Magpie and Freezy that are doing a lot of the legwork. With Corva not that far behind. Unfortunately, Ling and Lugia not having the greatest of games on the whole. Whereas you look at Underground, it's a little bit more spread. The one outlier being MML. And MML, what a shot! The one tap Lugia in the bin.
MML for MLG, anyone? That was an amazing shot. Lugia had no idea what hit him. And now Razor's still in position to challenge. He's going to do a little bit more damage, take out some more drones, just pre-fire, and now he's going to fall back. That's ample time wasted. 1 minute off the board. One player, that's Lugia, away as well. Well worth that extended hold.
The Sophia off the board early means that, well, it's a little utility that won't be available. They're going to have to rely on what is still in pocket. You look at 2 EMPs, 2 frags, 2 breaching rounds, and 2 breaching charges. So there is options, but less comfortable options. It's the utility dump towards top shrine. That T door shield will be cleared out, but it's still a numbers game in favour of Underground.
Underground being pushed back slowly but surely. They have rotated all the way back to site now. But F2 still have a lot of work to do. They will have to funnel through these doors. Oh, sorry, no, there is a rotation here, but they will need to at least get up all the way here without running into MML. He's holding, once again, a very tight angle. Coleman looking to challenge as well. Neither player able to land the shots just quite yet. It will be Magpie who finds it, but JPK and Harry to follow.
JPK getting quite eager with that swing. Corbin down. It's Officer Ling remaining. And he is stuck outside on the Geisha balcony. And he's going to dip all the way over towards Exhibition, it would seem. From the rappel, may even just opt to hold the angle onto the door. Fortunately, there's limited options available to him. Has the breach into office. But what more are you going to be able to achieve there with 10 seconds remaining? He's going to step in. Colossal damage. Health bar blinking red. And oh, the Pokeball. Zuve chooses Ling and picks up the roundwood.
Yeah, look, F2 started off really well. I'll give it to them. Those first 2 rounds were excellent. But unfortunately, they just haven't been able to find the consistency to hold back Underground, who now have found 5 rounds in a row, which is pretty good. F2 now need to step up their game if they want to get to at least 3 rounds, which is their best, before Underground make it to match point and possibly take the whole thing. They are just 2 rounds away from it all.
Possibilities quickly dwindling there for F2. Unfortunately, they may not be much longer for this season. Obviously, if they lose the next 2 rounds, the season's done. Well, if they win the next 5, their season's done. It's just a matter of longevity. They are unfortunately going to be unable to progress further than this. It's their last hurrah.
Well, you want to go out with a win, right? That's at least not a forfeit. At least get some points on the board. So there's still something to play here for F2. And given that they have put in a significant effort here, that they've always shown up every single week and fought at their best, even though they don't necessarily win, I think that deserves something at least. Having said that, their best isn't enough here because Underground have been playing very, very well these last 5 rounds. Again, slow start, but once they pick up, Underground are always able to run away with it.
Yeah, Underground definitely feeling themselves now quite comfortable. 8 rounds steep on Skyscraper. Bandit there for Zuve is going to be going for the the Bandit tricking. They do have the Thatcher that is going to be trying to enable this. MML, though, caught by Lugia, pushing into the exhibition corridor. And so things become a little bit dicier for Zuve to try and set up this Bandit trick.
Man from below will probably catch him here. Just a matter of time.
Oh, what a name.
It does indeed read like a book.
Well set up. Unfortunately, the Jaeger may have been watching the window, but the utility wasn't there to deny the frag grenades, unfortunately. And a 5 versus 3 in favour of F2, which is the biggest advantage they've had in a good wee while. They now need to capitalise on it and take the round for themselves, but it is also worth talking that it is JPK who has been hitting some ripper shots, and he's looking to hold down Exhibition as best he can right now.
A little bit aggressive here, looking for those picks. Unfortunately, can't quite find the angle he needs. Razor, however, will find what he needs. Lugia taken down off the board. They're trying very hard, mind you. They are a player behind, so they need to find that extra advantage, any advantage they can get. And with that breach already open and the plant imminent with the smoke grenades exactly the same as they played it, they need to find a way to stop this, but the wall bang through the smoke will change things up. Or, oh, never mind, it goes both ways. Officer Ling going on the plant gets taken down here, and now the cover is gone. Corbin, however, does find one. JPK retrades, and it's a 2v2.
Doable, well and truly with these guns in play. Both of them over towards the... Oh, what a flick from JPK! Goodness. Magpie out of the round, and it's on to Freezy to find 2. 30 seconds, does not have diffuser control, does not have drones. And that is a hell of a gap to cross if he wants to get the diffuser back in hand, especially when JPK is frying the way he is. Dicey. He's got to make the push. He's got 15 seconds. Looks like it might be the play through that exhibition window. Trying to find the back of one of these defenders. And JPK, he just does it again.
My goodness, look at that. Barely even see him. All the debris and the flashes, but it will be what secures Underground the round and match point. Now they are 6-2 up. F2 need to find at least one more round to say they did their best or matched their best record, but Underground certainly looking like they're going to find that second spot.
Yeah, more than likely. Final round potentially here as we head to barbecue and kitchen. Realistically, this should be the best shot, I think, that F2 have of getting another round, but the last couple have not been merciful.
Tertiary site is where things will be decided here, whether F2 will be able to get another round or Underground walk away with this completely. Kitchen dining, this was of course F2's first site, so they will be well versed in how it is set up. But it does seem to be a different approach by Underground. No frost mats here, but I expect a significant top floor hold that did work very well against Underground, so I think they'll make it work for them as well.
Wouldn't be surprised at all. This is that last-ditch effort Corvin on the Nook, trying to make the most of a pick that is available, trying to scout out the information while not being scouted himself. I'm going to go deep with that FMG 90. I mean, an opening pick here off the Nook would be huge.
And his way all the way to the kitchen door. No one quite knows he's here, but a refrag could end his hopes. Of course, there's going to be players on that hatch above, and any kill will instantly be relayed. He does almost make it into sight, but MML is just sharper. That has gone for nothing. Azuve does take a lot of damage, but not enough for a kill.
JPK, he's on it again. Freezy absolutely slept there. And hey, look, things tend to happen when you least expect them.
Making their way into Geisha now. It's another critical part of this attack. They do need to take this and dislodge those players watching the hatch. But there's going to be players not just in Geisha, but one in Drum holding that wall entry through the footholds. Again, a very difficult position to challenge. So F2 have got a very difficult defense they need to crack, and with the way Underground have been playing and still significant amount of players upstairs holding onto those positions, F2 have a lot of work.
They really do. It's an uphill battle, even at the best of times. When you're facing down a 6-2 scoreline and being threatened the way that you are, I mean, Underground can taste the victory here. They're going to look to force this and be aggressive where they can. A 4-round deficit on top of that to overcome is rough. Magpie down. It's just Lugia and Ling. Ling will get one onto MML. But he's going to get a second as well onto Zuve. Seems the case of too little too late here for Ling to be warming up. Lugia swinging in. There is a player top Drum. The swing out the pre-fire from JPK. Lights Lugia up, puts him in the dirt. The bailiff from range, a headshot somehow. And Ling is going to walk his way up into the line of sight of two. Sneaks his way in towards T. Might even look to go the long way around. Impact from below. They're just hunting him. They know where he is. 11 seconds, 13 seconds. It's over. Harry M closes it out with a kill. And unfortunately, F2 season's done. And Underground will take a 3-pointer.
Well, with that 3-pointer, Underground propelled themselves into second place, an improvement from last season to top off what has been an amazing season for them this time around. They took out big names, they took out Kraken, they took out Team 7. Now they find themselves just behind Not Quite Sure. A well-deserved victory as well for a team that has always been very exciting to watch, because you don't always expect them to win, but they always do so in spectacular fashion.
Yeah, and how did you rate it? Getting this go skyscraper there, Spud. What did you think?
I liked it. I missed it. I missed being able to see skyscraper. I'm glad someone finally broke the curse. And look, it's a lot more interesting than Oregon, I'll be honest.
Yeah, look, it was a pretty explosive map. A lot of good stuff coming out of both teams. Unfortunately, it did stall out a little bit, and Underground really just ran away with things. They were just given openings. They made the most of them. Unfortunately, F2 could do little to shut them down. And ultimately, it cost them the match. There was no coming back towards the end of it.
Some close moments there, 1v1, some clutches, but fortunately F2 just weren't quite able to close out a third round. They started off really strong and then Underground just won 7 rounds in a row. Eraser, of course, with that nice wallbang through the smoke, definitely turned this round all the way around. It was looking like an F2 successful attack, but then off the back of that wallbang, JPK, some insane flicks as well, changed things around. Match point here, Officer Ling hitting a nice one of his own, but not enough to get the final round.
Unfortunately, you know, finding yourself in a 1 versus 3, there was little he could do to close it out. And Spud, this competition I've been harping about all night. We finally have a winner. We have a tweet to come through. Who's going to get it? It's going to be Lumi. His super roster consists of Zoo. Hey, look, he's called the Underground roster, and they won tonight because, look, let's be honest, they did look good. So solid call, I reckon.
Yeah, that is a good option. Great picks, and I think, look, honestly, just based on how well they've been playing, how consistent they have, I highly agree with what Lumi said. They do look like they're going to be doing numbers in CL next year.
Yeah, definitely an exciting future ahead of them. But look, that does look to close out the regular season here for Season 2. Up next, of course, we've got playoffs just around the corner. And look, we had things locked in after Match 2. We kind of knew how things were going to be panning out. What are your expectations, Spud? What do you reckon playoffs is going to look out?
Look, it's a matter of how well I think Underground are going to do their preparation against their opponents. Given that they prepared very well against Kraken, if they can do the same in their semi-finals match, I could definitely see them in the finals and perhaps even taking that first place, if not, you know, at least a second place. For Kraken and Team 7, sorry, it just slipped my mind all of a sudden. A couple of mistakes have been made over this play day, and I think it's something they need to go back and look at, because of course you don't want to be giving away things for free against teams like, not quite sure, against teams like Underground.
There you go, there is your playoffs bracket. Not quite sure, taking on Kraken in semi-final 1 and semi-final 2. Underground Gaming taking on Team 7. It's going to be another matchup of former teammates playing it out, not quite sure, taking on Kraken. Obviously Elements in that not quite sure roster, formerly of Kraken Esports at one time or another. So a lot of stories going into the playoffs, Spud. How do you reckon? What are you calling? What do you reckon? Who wins the semi-finals?
I'm going to call not quite sure, and then I'm not sure about Underground and Team 7. That one's more of a 50-50. Just based on how well Underground have been playing today, I do want to say Underground, but mind you, Team 7 did come back from a 2-6 deficit and win that, so...
Team 7 also did beat them out in the semi-finals last year in the Season 1 playoffs. So if history is to repeat itself, I think you bet Team 7. It's a smart bet there. But right now, we're looking to close it out, Spud. Round Robin is done. Next week, the playoffs kick off. From us here tonight, we're signing off. We'll see you then.